Attempt number 2.
We're live.
We are actually live this time. And we lost 2 viewers. Because they got fed up and waiting for us to sort our lives out.
Love to see it.
We got Whittakee clean with his alternating Boxabois. Then the stop motion maestro Slurpy make some noise. As Englishmen, Irishmen, and Welshmen walk into a bar. Skip the beers, dogs too. We only want that galaxy far. So settle in, grab a cup of tea, relax and unwind. Cool and the gang got the stream that's gonna ease your mind. Cool on, would like to welcome.
So, apologies to everybody who was watching while we introduced the show, counted down, did the music, did our introductions, and started chatting away, and then realized we weren't live. I can promise you I pressed the go live button, so we don't know what happened there. But as it happens, all 4 of us in the space of the last sort of 15 minutes have had some kind of technical difficulty. So apologies we're late, but nevertheless, we're here. And thanks for anybody who stuck with us. So welcome to episode 4 of Cool Hang, Luke. And this episode is titled "Somebody Get This Guy a Beer." Somebody get this guy something to drink. Again, another quote from Cool Hang Luke. So if anybody hasn't watched it yet, you're missing out. So that title was directed mostly at the fact that we've got a special guest in the house. But also want to introduce my co-hosts. We got Martin, aka Whittakee, and Matthew, aka Slurpy. Hello. And probably the reason that all 6 of you are actually here is for the main man himself, the Lord of the Bois, the founding member of one of the founding members of the UKbois, and CJ, aka Padawan HQ. So welcome everybody.
Hello.
So we're going to get into a little chat with Padawan first, because I know everybody's here just to see him.
Don't be daft. You're doing an amazing job.
So look, apologies again to anybody who was on time and we weren't. It's a shocking set of affairs. I almost didn't make the stream at all, but unfortunately I was this close to messaging the other 2 co-hosts and saying, look, can you start it off for me? But then realized they don't have access to the stream yet, so we're gonna have to fix that for next time. So apologies, but thanks for riding with us, guys. Martin, can I get you to be in charge of keeping an eye on the chat and calling out anything? In a sec, we're going to read out whatever comments we've got there. It's a bit hard for me at the moment trying to do that and this, but we're going to line up our conversation topic. So anybody who did see the the Instagram, I did show off a few of our topics, and the reason I did that is because we're actually looking for somebody or members of the Cool Hands, if you like, members of the Cool Hands Society, to pick a topic for us to discuss tonight. It's just a way of being a little bit more interactive. So if you're listening and you haven't already seen that message that I've been beating the dead horse with, then get your topic, discussion, suggestions in the comments, and we're going to pick one later on live on air and hash it out. So the more random, the better. That's the whole point of it. Unless you want to go for something really sensible, like, I don't know, UCS sets or something like that. But that gets done to death. Let's just do something random. Maybe we talk about, I don't know.
Crocs.
Croc talk is already on the agenda, mate, so it can't be Crocs. But we could talk about favorite food, favorite bag of crisps, whatever. Sorry, go on.
Song.
No. Who's she?
Go down there. Right, let's get this going first. Yeah, there we go.
Nimble already threw in a discussion topic earlier.
Right, well, I don't know. Has anybody got a paper and pen? Because what I didn't consider the fact is if people start putting them, they might get lost in the chat. Not that we got 1,000 people chatting, but it might be worth somebody trying to make a note of them so that, as they come in, we can. Because I'm not going to pick one until later, because obviously I want to give everybody a chance to get one in there. So our first topic is hello there. And obviously we've got our Welshmen, Irishmen and Englishmen, and we're outnumbered by the English as per usual tonight. for good old CJ. But we'll let him off because he's just off the border of Wales. So, Croatia.
On the right side of the border, I have you know.
I thought I go is watching you, mate. So welcome to everybody who's joined. I really try to do my best to get this advertised as best I can. I'd like everybody to kind of join us and have a good time. It is a hangout session, so we do talk about Lego, we do talk about Star Wars and a few other things, but mostly it's just for us to just kind of unwind and chill. And hopefully this is the kind of stream you guys can watch either on replay or live and just kind of chill out to. So what we got so far in the comments, Martin? What's popping off in there?
Well, at the moment we've got Ostif. He's here. We've got Nimble Sauce Fan. Cooper. He's just appeared. Some bloke called Padawan. He's in here.
Delete him.
Yeah, that's it. I know from Nimble Saucepan earlier, he did say about ranking the anniversary 25th figures.
Ranking the 25th figures, right? Yeah, I like that. Put it on the list. Whoever's making a list, Slurpy, did I see you grabbing a paper and pen?
I wrote that down, yeah.
Right, top man. See, delegation. You can tell I do this for a living. Okay, so I will give a quick shout out to Ostif because he did jump on and kind of try to steal PNG's thunder, but it was nice to have two people who had Brickworld experience. So it's not a case of anybody got the upper hand there, but I know Ostif had done something similar in the UKbois weekly. So I just wanted to give an opportunity to someone else. So it was PNG. But Ostif, you're more than welcome to come on as a guest in future episodes. And the same with everybody out there. Cooper, Nimble. I mean, I've spoken to Nimble about it, but I don't think he's happy about showing his face. But that's fine. You can just get a nice picture. I know Slurpy did that his first episode, and then he came out of the shadows. But yeah, guys. So look, thanks for riding with us. And yeah, Cooper and Ostif, get a suggestion for what we could talk about. Discussion topic for the stream. So yeah. So in the interest of not doing all the talking as per usual, our first segment is our guest. So guest, introduce yourself. What's your name and where do you come from?
Well, I'm from Padawan. I'm from Padawan HQ. I am Padawan HQ, CJ, and I am from the dirtiest, darkest depths of hell. And I'm here to make sure that everything goes smoothly. No, I'm joking. They've been doing a fantastic job. I've been away a while, and that's why I probably need to reintroduce myself because I've had a bit of time to chill. Everyone needs a break. Everyone needs a mental chill out, and for one, and a couple of other bits in the background. But I'm back to make more daft videos as and when I please.
Mate, you came out of the box. You came out of the blocks firing as well because I've talked about this before, but I like the whole organic look to the not over-edited sort of idea behind social media, and I like that one where you just kind of sat at your desk. I know it was probably two or three cuts to it, but it was kind of just balls out this is what happened, this is where I've been. You didn't try and cut out those ums and those ers, and it just felt real. It felt homely and I really appreciated that particular post.
Yeah, that was the point. It was supposed to be completely natural. Obviously you might have been able to tell, but I cut a few bits out because it was just ramble that it didn't matter. But I wanted it to be as natural as possible and get the point across, and I think it did well.
Definitely. And obviously, in the interest of, I say interview, I don't want you to feel as if you've got to answer any questions, particularly based on what you've already said in terms of the reasons you were away. I don't want you to go into that. Go into anything you're not comfortable talking about, mate. But what I will say is that this interview is really just about, you as a person in general. How would you describe your place in the community at the moment?
God, I've never really thought about it, to be honest. I would definitely say that I've always wanted to be the person that kind of just seems like he does what he wants when he wants, type of thing. Sometimes I do throw some stuff out, sometimes I do nothing, and it's really trying to put the point across of don't stress out too much about it, and just I want to do what I want to do when I feel it. Same like as an example, videos that you see, they're pretty much on the day done and thrown out there because I've had something put in my head, and I'd like to. And as far as what I'm being at the minute is, I just want to be more interactive for the UKbois and everyone over here in general as I was before. But I don't want to run before I can walk, so I'm just vibing until I feel like the place is kind of feels right, I suppose.
Yeah. So a bit of a renegade type attitude. Sorry, man. Go ahead, mate.
I was gonna say, Echo is definitely stealing the show, though.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I don't want to like stick him in every video because no one wants to see that. Well, they probably do, but I do want to make him kind of my sidekick as we go forward, but only as and when it fits and if he's behaving himself, because he's not been behaving himself the last couple of days.
Well, there's two things that seem to sell quite well on Instagram and probably YouTube as well. Your pets and your boobs. So
Yeah.
you're gonna. And I know, Martin, you've experienced this a little bit. Just you get more than sort of 5 followers on Instagram, and then all of a sudden, half of your followers have got like no clothes on, and it gets.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
And I'm scrolling through Instagram sometimes while sat in bed with my fiance sat next to me. Shout out to Kirsty, and all of a sudden just get random sort of. I mean, that's even within the Lego community as well. There's a couple of. Female, and it's just like I don't know. I know the whole terminology goes sex sells, and I'm not knocking any of those guys for what they're doing, but it's just kind of there's a lot of it out there, and it just seems to work for them because you look at their followers, and it's just like they've got 3 posts per 3,000 followers. Like, how does that work?
Even no posts.
Oh yeah, no posts, but their profile picture is them, with a Lego brick over their nipple or something like that.
Wow, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
Lego pasties.
Lego pasties, yeah. So what's that all about? So look, I'm gonna take this away since we can't be interviewing Padawan and have most of him covered. So yeah, to get back to Padawan, I think that rebellious or that renegade type profile suits you, and I think more what I was getting at, because that's a really good description of the way you described yourself. You are seen as a kind of lieutenant within the, I don't want to keep saying the ACOP community, but the sort of under that, if you see them as the kind of forefathers, then you're up there, mates. And I think for me, what really drove it home is that night where I thought, I'm going to stay up and watch ACOP. And I think I've told you about this already privately, but it's just kind of, it was like whatever it was, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I tuned in, and it was just no Brent, but Sean, and out of nowhere, no prior warning or anything, Padawan just sat there, and it's like, and I was just like, one of us. But it was just like you're there, like, and I was just like, I can go to bed. I don't need to watch the stream. The guys achieved something, and that there was a kind of a cheer from me. So.
And I've never tried to push anything. I feel like it's all come natural. And I say it, like I've already said, I do this purely for my own fun. I don't try to make anything fake. I try not to give a false, like I am, as you see me on the camera, as who I am in real life. And like, I started, I don't know if you noticed, but like at one point I was like censoring my videos myself from like swearing and stuff. And I'm like, nah, that's not me. I'm a gobshite all the time. So why should I have to censor myself? And when we finally all meet up, you'll see that I'm exactly the same as I am, just a gobshite, don't care type of guy.
Yeah.
And
no, that's 100%. And that's what I like about this community. Like I've said from day one, I'm not going to go in. Don't get me wrong. I think some of the best YouTubers out there, or content creators, my favorite ones are the ones that are kind of edited to the max. Firebird Bricks, for example.
Really good, yeah.
Oh, and it's like impeccable. And he hasn't even been in the game that long, but it just doesn't suit my style. I haven't got the time or the patience, but I think I'm more of a kind of people who know me well enough, particularly my fiance Kirsty, always say that I'm quite good at like on the spot, just blagging it, making it up as you go along. And she said sometimes the stuff you come out with, and you're like, that's that. How have you not rehearsed that? I just made it up. So it's just kind of, it feels natural for me to just talk. And like I said before, I can kind of talk the head off a penny. But in this kind of realm, in this kind of situation, it does really help to be like confident in that kind of way. So no, I really appreciate it at the moment. And obviously a shout out to the UKbois. We're all members of the sort of UKbois, but the UKbois is kind of like an affiliation, but it's also kind of owned and run by Padawan. And a shout out to Bob Fiver first year partner in crime. Do you think we could ever get him on the
Yeah, definitely.
As a guest?
Yeah, definitely. You probably, I don't know if you got my message. I am, I'm up at 5 in, so I'm gonna when I say I'm going, I'm gonna have to go. But because I'm driving 7 hours tomorrow, class.
What time are you trying to head off?
Like 8:45, 9 o'clock, something like that, probably at the max.
Because I purposely put the section that I wanted you to head up quite early on. So, but guys, any questions in the chat for Padawan? Any questions from my co-hosts for Padawan?
No questions, but I just want an audible thank you for sending me my box of Bois back in June. And I also good to have you back too. It kind of felt strange, like not seeing anything, and then it's like fuck.
It felt strange for me, and let me just put something out there because in case she decides to watch this, the main reason for me just going, what am I doing? Let's get back into this. Is Sam, my missus. She was like, you need to start making videos again. You're not yourself, and I'm like, oh really? Okay. And then so she's like the main reason behind me, kind of pulling me out of the rut and pushing me forward to not carry on, but like to get back into it. Probably earlier than I should. Not earlier than I should. What's the word? I would have left it ages if she hadn't got involved. So I'm glad that she stuck her fist at my arse and went, crack on.
Encouragement, yeah.
I will say, what kind of really got me sort of interested in Padawan, I hope you don't mind me saying this, was that very famous stream when you Sam up.
Of course.
That was it. That was the one, must have watched that a lot.
Yeah, that was
told you where to go.
Oh yeah, 100%, definitely.
Yeah, that was definitely Europa. So your defining moment, mate, for all of us. But I think I chatted to you a couple of times in the chat prior to that. But it was just like, and the weird thing is, I remember watching that one live, and I remember somebody saying, "Go and wake up your girlfriend" or something like that. And my fiance was laying next to me at that point, and I was like, "Shall I do it?" Nah, I won't do it. Whatever. And then the fact that you actually rolled in and did it, I was just like, yes. Top man.
Like, no.
I thought I was going to be dead in the morning, but it was okay.
Okay, so.
All right, so Muttley's in the chat, and so's Fabu Brick.
Muttley, Fabu, how we doing, guys? Thanks for joining us.
Fabu Brick. I do love a good fisting. Love it. No shame. No homo.
Okay, so what's our next topic of discussion? Let's see. So, yeah. September Lego, Heator or Beator? Now, I didn't pick up anything for September Lego, but I honestly was looking at it and thinking, nothing there that particularly tickled me. But I've just seen a lot of people. The only thing that really frustrated me is the looking at what I was watching. Shout out to London Bridge Bricks. He queued up, I'm guessing in London somewhere, to get his Harry Potter with about 642 GWPs, and all of them like mint. And I just thought, what? Why can't Star Wars get that level of GWP? So, but that's another conversation. The actual September Lego sets yourself. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought that actually, because like I said, what you said then, we just seem to get non-Lego stuff. I know one of the Harry Potter ones is a non-Lego thing, isn't it?
But it was nice.
It's nice, yeah.
You know, it's not my kind of thing, so I'm not into Harry Potter at all. I've seen the films once, and I got no desire to see them again. But it looked like a good collector's piece. You know,
the only thing I was slightly interested in was maybe the Nightmare Before Christmas, but as you know, I have to go and buy a new fridge freezer.
Yeah. That's it.
I can wait though.
Come at the wrong time.
Yeah, get the Nightmare Before Christmas first, and you can just eat tins of beans in the meantime.
I've got no finger. I eat beans.
But guys, what do you think?
I don't know. It just seemed to be. It's just like they're trying to release everything every month now. But the only set that really stood out to me was that Deku tree from Zelda, and I'm not even a fan of it, like of the game series. But I thought, oh damn, it looks really well done. And then there's that Dungeons and Dragons minifigure line. Never played it, but some good parts and all in it too. But I don't know, like it didn't. What's that?
No, just point.
Oh, the dragon.
I gotta try and get that little red dragon. I gotta get a bunch of those to go with my sig fig. But
also,
no,
like
right.
I know the advent calendars have been released too, but sure, they're like the only thing that's guaranteed half off in like a couple of months' time.
100%.
Like,
I looked at the September sets, and they do none of them. Like, I can respect a couple of them, but none of them do anything for me whatsoever. Harry Potter that's in my opinion is a theme that needs to just go away for a few years.
yeah, 5 years at least.
Yeah, but I can respect that Burrow set does look well done. I've seen the films hundreds of times over, but I just don't do it. Like Harry Potter just in general doesn't do it for me. I normally just watch it because it numbs the brain or it's background noise.
yeah, I think pretty much exactly the same as yourself. I do respect all of the sets that came out, I think, pretty much. And I don't know them all off the top of my head, but there seem to be quite a lot of big, I want to use the term UCS, but the big UCS sets for like lots of different licenses all came out at once. And I'm just thinking, I know they're obviously from completely different licenses. They don't expect everybody to buy them all, but I just think, what kind of money do people think people got in September to just release so many big, chunky
I do think they
sets?
should bring out some more smaller sets.
Yeah, there's usually a nice variety of sets, regardless of the license, but it did seem kind of, beefy, heavy. But I kind of echo what Padawan said, but like I said, I do respect the Night Before Christmas one. Really good set. We are a Nightmare Before Christmas family. My girlfriend, or my fiance Kirsty, is a huge Night Before Christmas fan. So, and I remember seeing that out in America in 1993 when it first came out, and I was like blown away by how different it was for Disney, particularly. But so yeah, I respect the sets, but like Padawan said, it's weird that we got lots of Star Wars stuff actually physically happening right now, and either no sets or very little sets. And yet Harry Potter's got literally nothing out there, and they're still bumping out sets, although most of them are remakes. So it is kind of weird, Obviously, different people are running these departments, but it just makes you think there's no kind of definitive line for Lego of, let's revisit some old, let's do some new.
It must be selling though if they're let's remake like this set for the 5th time. But
Harry Potter is the second biggest IP for Lego. It came out in their yearly report recently about how much they made over the last quarter and stuff, and they listed their biggest IPs, and obviously Star Wars is the top IP, and then Harry Potter comes in after Star Wars. So even though a lot of us would probably be happy if it went away for 3 or 4 years, it's probably not going to happen. So
yeah, that's true.
And with new techniques coming out, they're always going to redo sets. It's like how many Star Destroyer sets have we had over the 20 odd years? We've had loads. It just, as the techniques get better, they'll pump out more stuff. They'll pump out more remakes. Just how it is.
Yeah, but even within that, I still feel like they get a load of ideas in around and just throw it at a wall and see what sticks. And that's kind of.
It's just that book series that they did. Remember a couple of years ago, like I don't know, like Gryffindor book or whatever. I was like, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
And then Star Wars did Mechs like that summer. I was like, all right. But
yeah, so overall, I think the consensus is meh. But I don't think any of them were beaters, though. And when I say beater, I mean the opposite of Heator, obviously. I don't think any of them were beaters. They were all really good sets.
I know filler sets.
Yeah, they weren't fillers, like I said, because they were so expensive. But still, nothing I'd be interested in building or buying, even if I had all the money in the world. So, but I could respect it. So there you go.
Cam.
Yo.
Just wanted to say, I'm glad you got your Vader's chamber.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
It is an underrated set, isn't it?
100%. 100%. Wanted one for ages. I saw someone was selling it for £30 on eBay. I was like, yeah, man, cheers. That was brand new.
And it's like we were saying, was it last week or the week before? It was almost like a practice for the dioramas because it's basically like a diorama.
Yeah, 100%. It's like a little mini diorama, but it's so good. Nice displayability. Where is it? It's up there, isn't it? Yeah, there.
It would have been so cool if they threw in a quote for that. Like that's, even though it's not like a diorama, I still think it's like the coolest one they've done. Even though it's just like all blacked out, like, but yeah.
Yeah, I still think the bigger bar one's my favourite, but
I think to me this paved the way to the dioramas. But like I said, it was a bit kind of, like I said, underrated, not really talking about much. But for me, this was an absolute beast of a set. And I've never built it, but I think there's a lot of talk from what I've kind of seen that I'm in the Lego community, but don't often see me building or showing off sets like most of everybody else.
When they're looking at the offices.
Commander Urzul's sticker is so... Yeah. It's just like one of my favourite ever elements they've ever done.
Yeah,
it's so goofy, but it's so cool.
But yeah, I do actually own Lego sets, guys. It's not all made up. It's not all in my head.
It's a bit like the mini scale, isn't it? Like the year before they brought out the Superstar. It's almost like we'll put that out, see how it goes.
Yeah. Test the water.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so next topic. So we did a Brickworld Hype stream, and
again, cool. Martin, thanks so much. Thank you for what you did for me.
Oh well, it's right, mate. It hasn't cost me anything yet.
No, but thank you. You know what I'm like with technology and stuff, as you earlier on. So yeah, thank you.
I ain't the best myself, mate. But there was no way I was getting my girlfriend to stay at Valley. But no worries, mate. No problem. Well, you're welcome. But yeah, the Allies are coming, so we're going to do a reverse now of D-Day, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going over there to help those guys out and get it.
It's like D-200 and something.
Where's Austin?
Yeah, where's Austin? We need the countdown.
Caught him out last time because he said the countdown. He kind of went white for a couple of seconds.
Countdown for landing, a countdown for Brickworld, like many invasions in it. Like,
just the top of my head, I think he said last Thursday, was it 283 maybe days?
Yeah, so just minus 14 off that. Medley, yes, everybody good, thank you. Nimble, that Harry Potter GWP is amazing. Never seen it, but I want that GWP. Yeah, well, there was actually a few. There was like 3 or 4, I think. No, sorry, there was there was 3. And that's kind of what.
Did you all get the Rennie booked?
Yes. Sorry, I just wanted to pick up these topics.
That's what I was trying to piece together in my head. I was like, all right, cool, Rennie's booked. Happy days.
Yes.
Down like a little kid.
We're flying in a day after yourself. We're flying in Tuesday.
I'm actually flying in Saturday before.
Saturday. Damn.
The flights were cheaper. The flights were £480 return if I went Saturday instead of Monday or Sunday.
Well,
Monday was like 680. Sunday was like 600, and then Saturday was like 540. And I went, I'll just go Saturday, and I'll just find a cheap hotel somewhere. Done.
There you go. Well, can you not stay with Ostif, or no? I suppose he's
no. So he's coming up on the Saturday to pick me up from the airport. But then we're gonna get he knows a cheaper hotel for the 2 nights, and then we'll go there, and then we'll just probably go and have a few sherbets out over those 2 days.
Probably get
and then we'll come and meet you lot when you get there.
Yeah, well, we don't know what time we're arriving, but I'd like to arrive as early as I can on Tuesday, but we'll see. I did try to talk Martin into going a couple of days earlier, but he wasn't having any of it, so...
Don't forget, you go... If you want to get there earlier, we're ahead, so make sure you leave at night here, and then you'll get there for lunchtime or something. It's 7 hours. 7-hour flight, 5 hours difference, something like that.
And then we're heading back on the Sunday... So you're there till Monday, right?
I think I'm there till Monday, yeah.
So, so we're invading. Oh, not invading. We're going to support our allies over in the USA by making up the numbers. So I'm just flagging this one up just because I didn't get a chance to read it. Cooper, I picked up the new I don't know what that is.
Durmstrang.
Yeah, it's the ship. The boat.
Shipboat from?
Goblin of
Harry Potter.
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire, yeah. That's it.
Ah. Okay, I just don't think I even saw that. Reverse D-Day last night.
What is sorry, just seen Cooper's comment.
Oh yeah,
Monday.
the Tri-Wizard tournament, the arrival, that thing.
I haven't watched them enough to know what it is. I probably recognise it.
£125. It's back ordered as well.
M2M, what does that mean?
Monday to Monday, that's what I've seen them kind of talk about on ACOB.
M2M, yeah.
Tyler got his Rennie in the end because like the Rennie went quick, didn't it? It was gone in like what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that.
Goodness me, hey. How many rooms were there?
I don't think they get that much of an allocation, to be fair.
I think I remember them saying something about like there was, I don't know. Mark did say the amount, but I've forgotten it. But it's for him to go that quick. But anyway, we're booked up, so we're quite happy. We just got to get flights, and
Wednesday was gone in 45 minutes. Cooper's saying.
So did you say Tyler was able to get his tickets after?
I think he rang them after and got it sorted. I think he sorted.
Well,
I just got off to do us.
I did kind of half offer him our room without sort of conferring with either Slurpy or he's a kind of a bit of a rogue squadron, but he's and obviously that wasn't necessarily for him to just lay on a settee or something, but I booked a room with 3 beds because it was the same price. Not because it might be it could be someone else who wants one, but I think at the time Matthew wasn't 100% sure if he was going to go, and I don't think that's changed necessarily. You're still not 100%, are you?
Yeah, it's still kind of maybe more 70% going, but we're creeping up. We're creeping up. But it wouldn't be the full week. It would maybe be Tuesday to Friday or something like that. Over obligations in the States, but
no, it's fine, mate. Like I don't know how much of what you told me is you want public, so we won't say any more than that. But long story short, hopefully all 3 of the founding members of Cool Hang Luke will be there. But if not, at least me and Matt will be there, and we'll probably just try and get a cardboard cutout of you or something, mate, to just kind of carry around. now that I realise how cheap they're. Say again?
So unless something terrible happens.
Oh, mate, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, you jinx it for yourself. Don't do that.
On tape too.
I've got to cheer myself up, not to be. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it again, mate. I know you said you weren't feeling particularly good and unwell, but I don't. When people private chat,
shit.
Yeah, but when people private message me something, I just assume that's kind of between them and the 4 walls, so I let them discuss anything else they want to say. So, are you happy for us to find out what exactly was wrong with you? Is it physical, mental, or?
It's a bit of both.
Right.
It started off sort of mental health, but
Well, look, I'm certainly no expert, mate, and I think everybody here has probably experienced some level of both physical and mental. I mean, none of us are getting any younger, but we have got a segment on it later, and Matthew has agreed to kind of take the lead on that because he's probably got a bit more experience in it than I have. But I just think it's something that was worth bringing up for my own personal reasons, and obviously, if Padawan's still around at that point, maybe he'll have something to add, but I know you will have as well, and we'll see how it goes. But so guys, I think I used the terminology, you are all the Jedi. I don't know, I know they're only words, but sometimes it's nice to give it a...
Let's just say things like this helps. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And we're all here to listen, and I might... Yeah. I mean, I'm the biggest talker in the world, but I'd like to think I'm just as big as a listener. So we'll see. But okay, so I think we've done. I don't want to go do Brickworld to death because I think everybody has been, and obviously as the days get closer, Brickworld is going to be kind of beaten to death. So But what I will talk about, because we're talking about Brickworld, is Croc Talk. Now, this is going to be a regular segment of this show. It was suggested originally by Brent to be in their show, and I kind of stole it because he meant it tongue-in-cheek, but I just thought, why not? Let's add it on. I don't know how I can talk about Crocs every other week for the next God knows how long. But specifically to Brickworld, are any of you guys planning to wear? Matt, I know the answer from you, Martin, but are any of you guys planning to wear Crocs?
Yeah. Yep, 100%. I've got 3 sets of Crocs. Going to have 4 hopefully by Christmas. Get us a new set every Christmas. I've got pink set, a blue set, a black set, and another one I think somewhere that I've messed up. But I've got all the Star Wars Croc charms in the world. I've got all sorts. And
Nice.
they will be on show at Brickworld 2025.
So
I'm going to bring it to Cardiff.
Now you've said that, I'm not going to say what I think.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, he literally just told us that he was really struggling physically and mentally, and then we've just absolutely beaten him into the ground even more by talking about Crocs. You could see a tear just rolling down his cheek.
What I can say is I've asked anyone who's got a spare one to send to me, because I'm thinking about doing a video.
What,
That's all
a
I'm saying
Croc?
on that.
A singular Croc. I don't mind sending you a jizzbit, mate.
Oh my god,
Not
not that
that
again.
one, no jizz. Not that again.
But no, Crocs definitely is a staple. It's got to be done. People who say they don't like Crocs is lying.
I'm not
Lying to themselves.
Not lying, Padawan.
Martin, you're lying to yourself.
No, I'm not.
Well, what I'll do is I'll
Now you
make
said
it.
that, I'm going to say what I was going to say then.
Go on, do it.
Go on.
You can blame my how I'm feeling at the moment. Crocs to me is what maybe inbred families would wear.
Oh,
Oh yikes! Shots fired.
Oh, right across the bow. Whoosh.
That's
John,
why
remember-
sophisticated.
my mum and her
You
brother
enjoy
would
yourself,
disagree.
Go on, you... I don't mean... Go on, you free enjoy it. I'll just sit here and listen.
Yo, whoa!
I'll
I
add to it.
don't want any part of the Croc Talk. I'm taking Primark Greg slides over. That's my
Greg
fit for this. Aye. American
I'll add to it.
dogs.
I've got fluffy Crocs. My black Crocs are fluffy ones specifically for the winter, so my tootsies don't get too cold.
Well, all I'll say is this: I don't actually have a standard pair of Crocs because I'm not a. I've introduced Croc Talk. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the standard Crocs, but mine look like this. They're just sliders.
The slider Crocs. Ooh.
So could you
That's
get into
acceptable.
these? Could you get into these, man?
See, they're not half as bad.
Well, these are just Crocs. I mean, the difference is
but
that
they've
I've got
the
other pairs of
full
sliders.
toe thing, have they?
Yeah, exactly. There's no sport mode in these as well.
It's
So,
all like Jesus
Hasn't got
sandals,
DRS.
really.
but I've got what jizz bits have I got? I've got a Boba Fett, and I've got a slice of pizza, and that's about it, really. But
I don't know. It's the Lego community hated helmet holes, and now we're celebrating feet holes.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good one.
like,
no,
I don't know what's happening.
well, there we go. So at least two of us, if all four go, at least two of us will be wearing Crocs. And man, check on the chat. Is anybody in the chat going to be wearing Crocs?
Yeah, nibbles.
Crocs are just-
fan of Crocs. Never mind. You get over it.
Muttley, Crocs are just slightly redesigned rubber gardening shoes.
Mm.
Nice one, Muttley.
Well, I'll wear them all. I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna wear Crocs on the day of flying to Brickworld. I'm gonna wear Crocs from the time I get up to the time I get to the hotel, the other end. I'm not taking them off.
I'm gonna wear a 3-piece Lego suit from
That's
AliExpress.
just my opinion.
If I go.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, man. What did you say?
No, I said each to their own. I mean, just because I don't like them, it doesn't mean I'm right. But,
Well, if all three of us do go, I think you might have to send us the link for that 3-piece suit you're talking about. Because it'd be nice if we all go with matching clothes. And I did say as well, if the three of us do end up going, I will see if I can. We'd have to probably be about 20 or 30 episodes deep by then to have enough weight to be able to ask. I wonder if even if we have to do it ourselves, do a live show from Brickworld.
Hey, they can't stop you doing it in a corner. I just set up shop. I'm bringing everything. I'm bringing my laptop, my stand, the works.
Rogue podcasting.
Yeah, fuck them.
We're doing
Yeah.
this Twitch IRL streams.
We can do, UKbois versus Cool Hands or something like that, and get us all on something. I don't know. We'll work something out. But it'd be nice to get involved. So we'll see. What else is people saying? What's this? Crocs are against my religion. Pocket Master. I don't recognise you, mate, but welcome.
But, yeah, welcome. I need
Welcome.
someone on my side.
Did you ever see, what's that movie called? I can't remember what it's called, and it's about like a guy who travels into the future, and he's really dumb, but he ends up being like really intelligent, and like humankind has gone really dumb. And they asked a company to design like a shoe that looked like basically like I think what Matt described, basically like a kind of hillbilly type shoe or something like that everybody's wearing, that just look kind of stupid and basic and plastic. And the company that designed them made them just for that movie, and everybody's wearing them in it. And they turned out to be Crocs. And so I can't remember what the name of the film is, but Owen Wilson's brother is in it. I can't remember his name. But Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson's like the main star in it. Not massive film, but
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy, yeah. So if you watch Idiocracy or Idiocracy, or however you want to say it, in there, everybody's, when he goes into the future or whatever, everybody's wearing Crocs, and they were designed specifically for that movie by the company that, you know, I guess were probably producing shoes, but they did it as a kind of tongue in cheek, and then end up. So yeah, win this past Brickworld. All I wore was Crocs. There you go, Cooper. I don't think I'd know your face. So apologies. I know you. There was a lot of guys popping up and down, and obviously people like Arstiff and PNG were probably a bit more prominent in terms of visually. But I don't think I'd know your face if I saw you. So I'll have to get you on, mate, and you can talk a little bit about Brickworld and show or not show your face, however you like. So. And Nimble's got a quick shout out. Shout out to anyone suffering with mental health. I'm always open for a chat anytime about anything. Yeah, appreciate that, mate. Star that comment. But we will get onto that briefly, guys. I just want to try and cover as much of the Padawan based subjects as I can before he disappears. So, and the next slide is. So we do like to segue a little bit from Star Wars and Lego, so it doesn't like give us all nosebleeds. But Rings of Power. Now, what I want to say about this is obviously I'll let you take it away in terms of talking about it. Whatever. I think we are 3 episodes in, and I heard you talking in one of, I don't know which stream it was in. You were talking in a stream, and you had me glued because I didn't know this. And you were talking about how they don't have the rights, which is why they can't call certain. And that I was just like. What? I didn't realize, because I thought it was strange that they were calling them, like, instead of hobbits, lightfoots or whatever it is.
Padfoots.
Yeah. So give us an update, mate. Have a talk.
So I'll quickly brief over it. I'll say quickly, like I'll go down a rabbit hole in a minute. Right, before I start, right, season 2, worse than season 1, absolute catastrophe, chaos. But I'll get into that in a minute. Right, so everyone understanding here, there's 3 books, all right? There's the Silmarillion, there's the Hobbit, and there's the Lord of the Rings, yeah? And then you have all the offshoots called the appendices and all the notes, all the incomplete kind of works, okay? Now, the Tolkien family, they sold the rights to the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit to Warner Brothers. But they still have the rights to the Silmarillion, which is like the first book. Or in the chronological order, it's the first book. Now, what we found out recently is that when Amazon went in and got the rights to the Rings of Power, or to make a show of the Rings of Power, we thought we were going to get the Silmarillion, which is all second age, first age style stuff. But it turns out they haven't. They've actually bought the rights to the appendices, so all of the works of all the like incomplete, the notes, all the extracts, everything, kind of like all the bits that Tolkien scribbled on bits of paper and was like, "Oh, I'll get to that in a minute." Like they got all the rights to that. So because they don't have the rights to the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, they can't call, say, Gandalf, and they can't use other terms like the Hobbit, and there's a few other like bits they can't do as well, which it hinders Amazon in what they can do. Now, season 2, I've watched the 3 episodes of the season 2. It's chaos. Put it into a nutshell. They've gone, we'll take this idea, we'll take this idea, we'll take this, we'll take this, we'll take this, we'll take this, and we'll smash it together. And basically all the plot lines and all the stories, they're all mixed up and they're in the wrong order and they don't make sense. And there's a few things in there that breaks canon, so to speak, or breaks the rules. And I've got a few notes actually here that I've put together. And I don't know what you've lot of seen and watched, and I don't want to spoil it.
First series, I haven't seen any of the second series. But I have seen quite not very sort of pleasant reviews about it.
Cool. So, what I will say, and I won't go into details because I don't want to, like I say, I don't want to ruin it for the casual viewers, because I will admit, the Rings of Power to the casual viewer, as long as they don't listen to the critics, is enjoyable. It is enjoyable.
I did enjoy the first series.
Yeah, and it's toxic, but it's like watching The Acolyte. You can clearly see there's issues, right? And as someone who's really dedicated, you don't like it, and it ruins everything else. Now, it's the same for me. The Rings of Power comes with a lot of issues that I notice straight away, but to casual viewers, it wouldn't necessarily, you wouldn't even notice it, and it wouldn't even click in your head. So it's really enjoyable to that respect. But all I'll say is basically things have been made up because they don't have the rights, so they've had to make something work, and the stories are all the wrong way around, basically, and the timeline doesn't make sense, and the way they've tried to condense it, because the Second Age effectively is like, I don't know the exact figures, but it's tens of thousands of years long is the Second Age before we get into the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit in the Third Age. So obviously we don't have 10,000 years to see 10,000 seasons, so they just crammed it all together, and it's caused so many problems, caused so many issues. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to, if any of you guys haven't seen it, I don't want to upset for things you might not have seen yet.
Can't say I've been interested in the show. I'm going to be real honest. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I'll just leave it at that. They just
Lord of the Rings trilogy, absolute masterpiece. 17 Oscars over 3 films and like 39 nominations for Academy Awards. Probably the best trilogy that's ever been made. It's an absolute masterpiece. The Hobbit was unfortunately plagued by 2010 to 2020, where they kind of like, film studios were like, let's go all out on this like CGI and kind of polishing CGI, and it looked terrible. And they were also plagued by Peter Jackson in the last Hobbit film was kind of, well, Peter Jackson was thrown into the Hobbit, here's your script, make it work, and he was like, okay, I'll do my best. And they tried to stretch a book that's this big into 3 films, and it didn't work.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, which is just insane. But yeah.
Does Jackson have anything to do with the Rings of Power or the rumored Gollum spin-off film?
So the 2 Gollum spin-off films. So Peter Jackson's back. Warner Brothers have got Peter Jackson back, and and Peter Jackson is the executive producer. He's basically the guy in charge. He is the Dave Filoni for that. And then Andy Serkis is directing. He's the head director, so he's doing all of the directing. The Amazon, rightly, the fans rightly so were like, why didn't Amazon reach out to Peter Jackson to kind of piece together the Rings of Power? But it never came to fruition, which is another reason why it's ultimately failed. Yeah, that's basically it. The only thing I have a potential problem with the 2 Gollum's films that they're bringing out is how they're going to work it, because the Gollum films are going to be set basically before the Fellowship of the Ring, where Gandalf and Aragorn are trying to track Gollum down over Middle-earth. Obviously, Viggo Mortensen is super old now, and I get you can de-age, but like, and then Ian McKellen's like, he wants to reprise Gandalf, so that would work for him. But my issue is trying to stretch a manhunt over 2 films. I don't know how really that's going to work, because you know the end result. The end result, Sauron gets him at Barad-dûr and they torture him for information and to find out where the ring is, which is in the Shire with Bilbo. So you know the end result. I don't really understand what they're going to do in the middle.
Just intentionally trying to bloat it and drag it out. I thought it was just 1 film. I didn't think it was.
I think it's no. I'm pretty sure it's 2. It's going to be 2 films. So
and is Andy coming back to reprise Gollum?
Yeah. So he's reprising Gollum, but he's also going to be like the overall director, with Peter Jackson being the main producer of both films, which is a smart idea by Warner Brothers, because they've learned from their previous mistakes of The Hobbit. So just get him in early, get him to write everything, and then go from there.
I have to say, I did enjoy The Hobbit though as well.
Yeah, no, good. Again, don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. The Hobbit is good again to the casual viewer, but when you start to, as a hardcore fan, right, and you again, we're like Star Wars, the last thing you need is things to be broken in the canon and the rules. And 2 examples I'll give in The Hobbit: 1, Legolas was never in The Hobbit. 2, the Battle of the 5 Armies didn't happen. So there we go.
I wasn't overly keen on the ending, but, yeah. But then again, when I was younger and I read the books, I much preferred the Lord of the Rings books to the Hobbit anyway. So.
Oh, the books are 100% way better. Like, we need a film all around Tom Bombadil, who is like probably the biggest character never to make it on the screen.
Yeah, that was quite strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going to say earlier, like, and I think I've said this before, but obviously, if I was the same age as what I was when Star Wars came out, when Lord of the Rings came out, that would have been my Star Wars.
Yeah.
There's 3 films.
Lord of the Rings and Star Wars for me is like neck and neck. I really can't make a decision between the 2.
Yeah, I think I think I'm probably more than a casual fan of Lord of the Rings in terms of the original trilogy. I went to see the movies in the cinema when they came out with a group of friends, and they were kind of more Lord of the Rings fans. I'd never read the books, to be honest with you, until I saw the trailer. I had no clue what it was. I think I'd probably heard of Lord of the Rings, but I wouldn't have known even there was a book. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Was on board. I think we went back to the cinema as a group, me and a couple of friends, to see the extended editions when they came out, or when they released them later. And I think we did a day where we saw the original versions, kind of 3 hours a piece, back to back, if I remember rightly. I mean, it was like a long time ago, but and yeah, I was on board for it. When I watched The Hobbit, not quite the same. I think Martin Freeman did a fantastic job of young Bilbo. Again, only comparing it to the original movie, and obviously how true I believe that was. But in terms of comparing to the book, obviously I had no frame of reference. But yeah, when I watched this Rings of Power, I just thought it just feels different.
Yeah. One example I can give, like as in to you all, is that's not really ruining the Rings of Power season 2 because you already know it's happening. Is so at the end of Rings of Power season 1, Sauron and Celebrimbor, they make the 3 Elvish rings, and then the season ends. Now in season 2, they're now making the Dwarvish rings and the rings for the race of men. Now in the books, it's the opposite way around. Celebrimbor makes the rings for the dwarves and then the rings for the men, and then Sauron corrupts them, and that's why the 3 Elvish rings get made, so that they can't be corrupted by Sauron. That is why they were made, but they've done it backwards in the Rings of Power, which makes no sense. But yeah, that's like just a small detail of why it's annoying how they break. It's like Ki-Adi-Mundi being in Acolyte. Just like, why are you there?
Yeah, and I think the problem.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think what they've probably tried to do is they've just tried to find a new audience and hope that most of the people, which probably is the case anyway, and like yourself, Padawan, and don't know the law, and they're just trying to monopolize on. Yeah. That's what it feels like. It's a cash grab, really, isn't it? But
what I wish they did was, so the problem at Amazon, they had so much confidence in the Rings of Power, that they filmed the season 2 before they released season 1. So obviously season 1 was a catastrophic fail for them, but they have to release season 2 because they've already done it. They'd already 2 and 4. I think both seasons combined something like 380 million or something crazy like that, like mental.
Yeah, well, I've watched all 3 episodes, and I've got to find myself. I did get into it, and I think that even if something isn't true to the source material, but they make it entertainment, sometimes I think they can get away with it. But also watching that and hearing what you said now, Padawan, makes me realize that I think Star Wars was in some ways kind of right not to explore the EU as we knew it in books, because it just would have been they would have got they got battered anyway for what they've done, right? But I think they would have got battered even more if people were trying to add, because they got something to compare it to rather than something original. And we saw what happened with Harry Potter. The same thing came out. Oh, the book's about this and that and the other. But obviously it's the same now with the Rings of Power. So it kind of makes me realize that I think they probably kind of did the right thing by not doing that with Star Wars and just starting, creating their own thing.
The thing with Star Wars is if you don't want to have backlash from Star Wars, you want to do make an original story outside of the galaxy far, far away, which they have all the tools to do, and 2, go forward. Just keep going forward. Don't go back, even though there is some absolutely insane material to go with back thousands. Like Old Republic is my favorite era for Star Wars because it's so much cool stuff. But if you want to play it safe, if Disney want to play it safe and don't want to get their attitude off, just go forward. Because there's nothing to compare it against.
Yeah,
I remember when they were doing the sequel trilogy. We all know how it turned out, but I remember for the longest time people says, "Oh, they should have just adapted the Thrawn series or the Yu Zong Vong War." I was like, a lot of that to me, the Thrawn stuff's good. I really like it. That Yu Zong Vong stuff now it gets into OP superhero territory for me, like a little too.
Yeah.
It just didn't focus on the Skywalkers as much for me.
Yeah.
Which I know.
One of the films that Filoni's doing, he's doing one about Thrawn.
Is he?
They're doing Heir to the Empire, which is going to be probably post Ahsoka season 2, which has now apparently been confirmed to be after the Mandalorian and Grogu film that they start filming. Yeah, so they'll probably do 2028. Will be like the Heir to the Empire film, which, let's be fair, is going to be Avengers Endgame, isn't it? It's going to be Avengers. It's going to be Star Wars Endgame. Just going to have everyone. They're just going to pull everyone together.
It'll be really good. Like I wish they had done be more one-off films instead early on.
It's a shame that Solo failed because I actually enjoy the film.
Same.
There might be a couple of inaccuracies, but overall, it's a really good film. But I think what did it come off the back of? Did it come off the back of The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
I think it come off the back of The Last Jedi, so that did not help it whatsoever.
And it didn't get released at Christmas like all the others did.
Yeah.
They have some problems with filming it as well. Or something.
Yeah, Ron Howard was brought on, and they kind of had to refilm.
Yeah, they got rid of the two guys.
The Lego Movie guys were originally penned to do it, and Ron was a safer option.
They wanted to release it for the anniversary of some anniversary, and they wanted to do it around about that time. Wasn't it the anniversary of when New Hope came out?
Yeah, something along them. Well, when did it come out?
2017.
Yeah, so 20.
Was it 2017? So it was a 40th anniversary.
It came out in May of. I think that's maybe when it was supposed to come out. Not long after Rogue One, but it came out in May of 2018. Because I remember the online campaigns to make Solo flop and all that crap. But no, I think The Last Jedi put a bit of a stink in most people's mouths, and
I enjoyed it. I liked the movie. I can watch it again and again.
Hey, Last Jedi, the only mainstream Star Wars film that didn't have a lightsaber on lightsaber combat fight. What's up with that? Come on, screwed enough. Anyway, we'll go down a rabbit hole if we do that.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda. If your name's not down, you're not coming in. So
goodbye.
So yeah. So what we will do though is
I've told you Muttley's complaining about my mic.
So maybe just because I used to have one with a headphone on it, put it closer to your gob.
I'm trying to.
Can you put it like?
Muttley, but I tried, but everyone could hear me echoing. So I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it.
Sorry, Muttley. He was the reason we all came on late. Honestly.
Martin, I can hear you absolutely fine. Don't even worry about it.
We could hear you. We can hear you fine. I think, like I said, if somebody else is talking, it does get blown out.
Muttley, turn your volume up.
Yeah. There's probably something in there in terms of when you've got a microphone, you can fiddle around with on Are you plugged into a phone or a computer?
Phone.
Yeah, there's probably some kind of internal volume that you could adjust, but I wouldn't worry about it too much, mate. It's fine. But it's a hell of a lot better than the Echo we were getting, put it that way. So
Yeah, definitely.
and to kind of put you on the pedestal anyway, mate. It's your segment. Is it ready?
Yes, it is. I've actually did the video today, but this is exclusively before it goes on.
This is a world exclusive, guys. A world exclusive of the.
Is this the new lineup? Is it?
So everyone knows I do every month now. I do a Boxabois, to celebrate, the Boxabois. And obviously I changed things around. And I think last week, I did say I'm maybe doing one with sabres. Well, 2 weeks ago, I should say. But I haven't got a Darth Maul, so I cannot do one without a Darth Maul. So a bit genetic this month, but I've done. Anyone guess what that is?
That is Mos Eisley Cantina. Well, it's a Tatooine boys.
Yes, it's a box of tats.
Box of tats. Love it.
Box of Tatooines, yeah. So the top one is like mainly to do with like Jabba's palace, but
Yeah.
Obviously,
And bottom is Mos Eisley.
and the bottom ones is from. But to be honest with you, I had so many I could have put in.
I think you got a mega selection there.
God, just makes me wish they released more alien sets.
I wanted to put in like a Tusken Raider and a Jawa and all, but then again, I can always do another one for another month. Also, like
Hold it there a sec, mate. I'm going to sing.
Can't think of his name now. The bartender as well. I was going to put him in, but in the end, I just thought.
Brewer.
Yeah, that's it. I got with choosy. So obviously the Lando in the skiff and the bloke with the red trousers. That's from the old skiff set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The others are from Boba's palace. And yeah, the others are from the cantina.
Love it.
Yeah, good old Guido and.
Best one so far.
I still need to get that cantina.
It's just
Do you
popped
think
into
so?
my head.
I like my I like the Mandos personally because they're all quite flashy and stuff. But yeah, so there you go. That's this month.
That's class.
This month's September. Box of Tatooine or box of tats.
Box of tats.
Box of tats.
So there we go, guys. World
Not
exclusive.
Tats.
Comments in the chat. What do we think of the September lineup?
For anyone who hasn't got it, and that includes you, Slurpy, is you need to get the Mos Eisley Cantina. It is a phenomenal MBS set. It's on.
But
Yeah, it's on my list of sets to rebuild because I had it built. I dismantled it when I moved house, and it's still reverse bagged in a box somewhere. But I'm going to rebuild that. But is it? I'm pretty sure it's on the retirement list. I mean, it was on the retirement list last year, but I'm pretty sure it's on the fresh retirement list for this year. So
It's been out 4 years now.
yeah.
I was going to get it, and then it increased in price, and I was like,
Because obviously Chicago, if I hadn't got it, I wouldn't have been able to get it now.
yeah, if I
That's why
while
I
it
can't
go,
get the AT-AT, I'm gutted.
while it's in my
It's
head,
tiring.
oh mate, while it's in my head, sorry, I just want to put this out there. We need, I don't think anyone's ever said it. We need a play set that is Crimson Dawn versus the Huts versus the Pikes. Wouldn't that be just like a pretty cool play set? Like £100 £100 play set. Huts versus Crimson Dawn versus Pikes, like a full on bounty hunter set.
That's the first of it there. That's good. That's a good. Yeah.
from the Book of Boba.
Yeah,
There should have been more. There should have been like another. I don't even think there really was a Boba show set because Boba Fett's
just-
throne room was that not for the Mandalorian? That
I
end
think it might.
credits scene?
Yeah.
We never got a. It would have been funny if the one set they did was that Vespa chase.
Oh, no, oh
You know
god.
what I would have liked? It's probably a hot take, and probably people would. But I would have liked an actual Tusken camp with the new Tusken Raiders and some tents with an actual bantha, a couple of those dogs, And then you could even have the I forgot what they're called now. The blokes on the bikes that came, to attack them.
How did we not have like the Book of Boba Fett final duel where we get like the Rancor, Black Chrysanthemum?
Yeah.
We've got we get
Droid.
Cad Bane, like
Those
How-
scissor droids or whatever they were.
I'm assuming because the show didn't go down well, but hot take personally, I enjoyed it.
It was a filler show, wasn't it? Like just to kind of bridge season 2 and 3 of the Mando. Like it didn't.
Still enjoyed it.
Had its moments for sure.
it didn't do Boba Fett any justice. I feel
No.
really sorry for his character. I feel like Boba Fett should have stayed as kind of like a supporting character throughout the Mandalorian and throughout offshoots. He should have just popped up, done some badassery, some good fuckery, and just left.
I got to do this. He did ride it like a panther.
Like a
It
bantha.
became such a meme too, and I like that Thames kind of embraced it all too. Like he kind of plays into it at the Comic Cons and stuff. I don't know, just
No,
the
he loved
Boba
it,
Fett
didn't he?
from he did. So we've got 3 different Boba Fetts, like the OT, which was like a piece of furniture that looked cool, Child Boba, and this Mando version of him, which it's interesting. I'll say that, like, to have him actually speak lines of dialogue, but no, I like that he came. Very happy he came back for it and all too.
Oh, there you go. Fabio Bricks put it pretty spot on. A Star Wars Outlaws battle pack.
Yeah, I kind of had an idea a while back where we could have why don't they release a battle pack with, it doesn't have to be like 4 figures, could be more, but just have it so that you could, instead of buying and creating the same 4 random, I don't know, bounty hunters or henchmen or whatever you want to call them, you could kind of mix them up. So you can take the legs, the body, the head from different ones. So, because if you look at these groups of henchmen from the original trilogy, like Jabba's Palace, Cantina, and even in like the Mandalorian, they all kind of look kind of similar. Some of them got the same clothes, and they kind of got the same.
Yeah.
So just kind of, I know a lot of people did it with the Snip Fighter with those 2 characters. They kind of, got 2 of them and then mixed them up. So there was like 4 different characters kind of thing out of 2. They should do something like that, battle pack, where you can kind of mix and matches. So you buy like, I don't know, 10 of these battle packs, and you could have like infinite amount of different characters from 4 legs, 4 heads.
There was a battle pack from 2016. It was they did 2 Battlefront battle packs, one Imperial and one Rebel. But the Rebel battle pack, you got 4 figs as usual, but 2 of the figures had the same torso and the other 2 had the same. But you got a Rhodian, what do you call, Cad Bane species, and 2 humans, and you could kind of interchange them because there was no skin tones. They were all gloved up. Yeah. That's the only time I've ever really seen it. Like, you can kind of get away with.
I'm talking about them selling it as that, and encouraging people to buy.
Match.
And I mean, that'd work for kids and adults as well, because the kids love to do that kind of stuff anyway.
I forgot one of my favourite characters. I didn't put him in it. Oh, I'm definitely going to
mate.
I forgot Hammerhead.
I
love the actual, Star Wars palette toy of it. Yeah, great.
There's always October, mate.
I wish we got
there's always next year.
What you're saying, Han, about like the kind of battle pack. Like, I don't understand why they can't do like even like a 25-30 pound Cantina set, 8 figures or whatever, but you can somewhat like mix and match them all up, like different species and helmets and gear. But that's why they lock a lot of the good stuff behind paywalls anyway.
Yeah,
like that Mandalorian one they brought out with all the different color. You can actually change the helmets around and have different. So
I think they're missing a trick by selling it that way. I mean, we do it anyway, but I think Cooper's echoing what you said there, Slurpy. The Rogue One, made to mix and match. I don't know. Yeah, well, you're probably right, because I don't think I was around at the time that came out. But what I will say is that I definitely don't think they kind of made that a clear selling point. Mugsy lad's in the chat.
Yeah, back again.
Mugsy lad.
As well.
I'm gonna have to give you my 5-minute warning. Just went out there.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Look, we've covered all the sections that I wanted you to be a part of. Obviously, I wanted you to be a part of all of it. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of did that on purpose, so no problem. But But Crimson Toaster, whoa, it's me. I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, but thanks for joining us, mate. And yeah, Mugsy lad in the chat. Oh, so. But okay, so the next section we were going to do, and I've just realized once again I've let him down because I told him I was going to I told him I was going to get it lined up ready, and I just didn't. So we've got till the end of the chat to do it, but this is the next section. So Slurpy, I know you said you were picking one out for me to play, and I didn't sort of chase you up on it, get it lined up. So
Right.
have you picked one? Can you send me a link and I'll get it
Send it
set
to
up
you,
when we talk, and we'll talk about something else, and then obviously I can get it set up because I don't want to do what I did last time and have everybody waiting. So again,
Well, that's it sent in private there now.
right. Well, let's get the chat going on something else, and then I can kind of peel away and do that while I'm not going to be missed. So, Lego Star Wars, what's left for 2024?
Boy.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking barge?
Sorry. Well,
I've
first of
done
all,
many leaks yet.
did any of you guys see the?
Hang on.
There was
Hang
the
on,
Imperial versus Rebel battle pack. There was like it's leaked, but there was a review of it.
No, I haven't.
There's a couple of reviews there at the minute, but it looks all right. Like, I mean, I don't know what the price is because it hasn't been officially revealed. But I like the droid. I think we talked about it before, the R2 KT or QT KT. I'm not too sure which one actually it is that they're going with it. But yeah, it's all just a build up to the barge, which mortgage payment for that.
I mean, I think the battle pack's good, but because of last year, I was hoping for another like scenery thing, what they did like inside the Millennium Falcon, the Christmas one.
Yeah, I know.
That was the rumor, wasn't it? That's why. But,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Right,
it's
can
good
I
to
just-
have it's good to have an OT battle pack.
Where's the
It
barge?
is.
You know where the fucking barge is. Where's the barge?
Oh, bless him.
Don't say, "Oh, bless him." He's in bad books. Going back downstairs now.
Oh.
He's been naughty. Pissed on my carpet.
I actually felt sorry for him when you were shouting at him.
Oh, he loves it. It's one of the things I've kind of trained him to do. I will shout at him. I shout at him, and he gives it back. And I've trained him to like react to me shouting.
Deb's in the chat, guys,
yeah,
for Echo.
Right, I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, QT KT. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like.
don't-
Oh my days.
Don't get me
I like the
started.
Rebel the Rebel speeder. The Imperial dropship's a bit naff looking, but yeah, as you say, Martin, like it's good to get another OT battle pack because they don't really release any of them. It's just been cloner battle packs the last couple of years, and
You know, even like the Clone Boys, even they're fed up with
yeah,
too much clones.
they asked for them for years, and then now they're just
Now they
we don't
don't.
want any more. I suppose because they're all 501st and 501st adjacent, they're a little bit.
And the holes.
Yeah, I love holes. I love them. I think they're great, but I love the drama around them too. I can put flowers in them and other accessories, but
I never thought of that.
but
Oh no.
yeah, Fabric is
Right,
one
so-
build of
That's
suckers.
give me an idea for a box one.
One build away in these double packs.
I don't know if any of you remember. You know my headset. I had tape around it because my headset come off.
Ah,
Remember
yeah,
that? Any of you see that? Yeah. Now the other side's doing it. But luckily, the one that's I've glued this one back together, so it works. So I'm going to glue this one back together. But right, I'm going to have to call it.
Damn.
Well, it's great to see
Sorry.
you, Cam. glad you're
If
back.
I weren't getting up at 5 in the morning, I would. And next time, I will do the whole thing. That's if you want me back.
Mate, you're welcome back anytime. And you know what? A favour for a favour, because we did this the opposite way, I guess, last time. But if any of the guys can step in, including myself, would you be happy to jump in on it as a co-host?
Yeah, if you want, yeah. I won't commit all the time, but if you need me, I will do my best.
Before you go, Cam, just what very quickly, were you planning to go to Cardiff?
What's the date again?
19th.
Of October.
Yeah,
Give me 1 second.
7 days after my birthday.
It is the next topic of discussion.
Yeah,
but
as he was going, I thought I'd quickly ask.
yeah.
I don't know if I'll go to it. It's just a.
To be honest with you,
I don't expect. I mean,
Yeah, I was going to say, without sounding awful, we didn't even
invite me.
build you into that idea because it's so far away.
Yous are all on the kind of the border in Wales, just outside of Wales. Like, yous are all pretty
7.
much.
We're all kind of surround the 7 a little bit. So yeah.
Well, it's
The
funny,
one
'cause I don't live in Wales, but I'm closer to it than what.
Yeah, closer to Cardiff.
Is.
He's
Yeah.
closer to Cardiff than I am, and I'm in Wales.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to Bricktastic, but I don't know. I haven't even really looked up the dates for that yet. I think that's in Manchester, but
Right, provisionally, yes. Just checking my work calendar, make sure I wasn't away working.
Because I've been sent the information to, because obviously I applied to be a volunteer and help out there. But that was because I was going to be going on my own and I still wanted to go, but at the same time didn't want to look like a Billy No Mates. But I like the idea of volunteering, getting involved a little bit in the community. So I put my name down for that and they've kind of contacted me now to say, look, if you're going to do it, you don't need to buy a ticket, but if you're not, you need to buy a ticket. So they even said if you've got a meetup planned, you can do a half day. And then I won't have to buy a ticket at all and only have to work half a day.
That's cool. I'd do that. That sounds like a no-brainer.
But
Just all come over to you and chat to you while you're working.
well, I think basically what they said is you've got to do the first half of the day. The second half of the day is not optional, so it's not. So it depends. I think we'll have to work it out offline in terms of meeting up, and obviously we'll talk about it without kind of you up, mate. Because it is.
But yeah, so yeah, provisionally, yes. We'll talk more offline about it. But yeah. Right. That's
Yeah,
me.
look, guys, Dub's in the chat for Padawan. Thanks for coming along, mate. I really appreciate you a kind of short notice. Make it and obviously welcome back. I know you were away for a while, and I kind of trolling Boba for first year because I think you made a comment in the UKbois chat, something along the lines of, "Oh, a guy thinks he's Tyler."
Yeah.
Because you were away for what felt like an eternity to us, mate, and certainly to your fans. But after seeing that, I thought, right, I'm going to make it as clear as possible that he's been away for years, just to control him a little bit. But yeah, mate, obviously, welcome back. Good to have you back. And obviously, if you ever got to go again, you do what you got to do.
All I will say on my closing note is I had a bit of tragedy. Won't go into details, but I had a bit of tragedy. But also, I was feeling a bit tired, so I just wanted to chill out. And do you know what? Do you know how peaceful it is building Lego sets when you haven't got the pressure of making a video about it? It's lovely, and that's what I did. I got quite a few stuff done in the background. And all I want to say is to people is don't feel pressure, do it for you, and take it. Everyone needs a mental break. Just chill. Hopefully that leads you into your next segment, whenever that's going to be. But yeah,
Right, take care, Cam.
Appreciate it, mate. All the best. Take care.
right. I'll watch the rest on replay, so don't worry about that. All right.
Take care. Ta-ra, mate.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye. And then there were three.
Oh, I don't like this layout. What the hell's going on here?
Yikes.
You see half of Matthew's face. Right,
Jesus. Right. Okay. My face is long enough as it is. Right. Okay. Let's just double check the chat. Anything exciting? Oh, Dubs. Oh, we've got a couple of dubs. I always say put dubs in the chat because the UKbois say it, and I always look in the chat and see 0 dubs. But it's nice that a couple of people actually did it. A lot of the boys did dubs, Pockets Master, dubs, Cooper, dub, and great to see you back in the videos. And yeah, so I had to jump on. Like, obviously, CJ Padawan is always welcome here, and kind of helped sort of get this, me as a host, and I guess probably the same for the other guys as well, kind of get us off the ground a little bit, and certainly raise my profile enough to be able to get where I am now. I say that like I'm, at heights, but what I'm saying is in like we're actually doing a show. That's all I mean by that. But he helped us get it there, and I obviously appreciate him for that. But yeah, I really had to jump on that opportunity to get him to appear with us live first. So there was no pressure. The guy came back of his own accord, and he agreed to come on the show. So great guest. So, and while we're on the subject of that, it's not on the cards. It's not on the subject matters. But I am looking for. I have got, believe it or not, I've got a list of people who I've spoken to. They've agreed they want to come on and be a guest, or potentially co-host or whatever, going down the line. At the moment, I've got about 5 or 6 people who've agreed. And obviously, I'll base what the main subject matter of the show is around who's coming on. So I'm not going to name those people at the moment because I don't want to put them under any necessary pressure. But if there's anybody out there who would like to pop on the show as a guest, let me know. Reach out to me privately, ideally on Instagram. But any of the guys in the chat today, everybody's more than welcome. Or if anybody's got suggestions of someone. The one person I will mention, because I asked him, he said yes, and then he made another reference to it, but is Will Bricks Productions. So this is the guy who you've probably seen made an enormous, I wouldn't say, it's certainly not scale, minifig scale, but it's probably as close as a Lego will ever get. Doing a Venator. Have you seen it, Martin? Have you seen the one? You know the guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, because he was on one of the. Was he on April? But also, when they did, I think it was Sean's birthday. He was in part of the video where he threw something to Padawan, and Padawan caught it. Which I thought quite funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your memory's better than mine, but yeah. So I'm going to do an episode, a mock episode, and he wants to get on for that. Well, I asked him if he'd like to be on, and we do it around mocks, talking about mocks, because I think it's quite a big part of the community.
There you go. Let's talk about mocks, not about Crocs.
Yeah.
It ain't going away, mate. It ain't going away. We need to do a
mirror of that.
we do like I'm outnumbered now. Like, but yeah, so him for mocks, and then I've also got, there's a guy right out there. He's not in the chat today, but hopefully he'll check this out on replay. And one of his friends is in the chat, was in the chat, Crimson Toaster. And he was my first pick to be our very first guest, just because me and him have had a kind of, I wouldn't say a friendship, because it's impossible to call it a friendship. Well, no, it is a friendship, a community friendship. With this guy for quite a long time, and it's just such a nice, lovable guy. Got a lot of respect for him and what he does. And again, watching him early on as someone who's kind of not just starting out, because he's been around a little bit longer, but who's kind of no fear to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to have a go. I'm just going to do what I love, and whether people love it or not, I couldn't care less, and just kind of be himself. And when I decided I was going to do a sort of chat show and I wanted to get into it, I reached out to him and said, look, would you be my first guest? And he was like, yeah, no problem. But every week he hasn't been available, except for this week when I'd already asked Padawan, and then he reached out after and said, I'm available this week. And I thought, what? And I know we had 5 on before, but I do think it's a nice. There was nothing wrong when we had 5 on, don't get me wrong, because it's particularly the topic about Brickworld, so the more the merrier. Because they needed to kind of at least get close to outnumbering us, because none of us had been. But I think 4 is just nice. But I'd like to keep it to 1 guest. But anyway, without further ado, just going to say a shout out to Oaktown Bricks. What a guy. If you haven't subscribed to Oaktown, don't follow on Instagram. Go and do that now, obviously after this show. But go and check him out. Oaktown Bricks, what a guy. Hailing from Oakland in Los Angeles. And yeah, he likes to do his builds. He likes to do hauls. He's a member of the Girth Gang. Just a nice guy. He was in Brickworld. I believe he went with his father. Such a lovable guy. I mean, I joined him on the 72-hour stream, which I've always been fascinated by. And I just thought he was asking for people to, put their names down and to go on with him. And I kind of said, oh, I wouldn't mind having a go. And yeah, he was just building a Lego set, sat on the beach. And I just thought, what a guy. He just...
That's funny, though.
I'm going to be back in a minute. I've got to go and get my meds. Sorry.
All right. You okay, mate? Yeah? Okay. But, yeah, so Oaktown Bricks, what a legend, what a guy. We will get you on here, mate. And unfortunately, it wasn't the first episode like we planned, but we'll roll out the red carpet when he joins us. So Nimble Saucepan is very keen. Oof. So
right, let's make it happen.
If we get Nimble on, then we've got to do a Bluestone episode. So we'll do a medieval episode, and we'll do, all things medieval, and Nimble can head that up because he is the man, the Bluestone man. And look, Nimble, no pressure to show your face, but be nice to put a face to the voice, but obviously that's up to you. So
there's lots of people on that don't show their face.
Cooper said Will Bricks Productions is my main op. Wonder what that kind of beef is.
What does he mean by opposition?
Like opponent, enemy, adversary.
Oh, right.
I've heard that like used in a joking way. Then there's Brickflix. What is up?
Brickflix. Yeah, how are we doing, mate? Thanks for joining us and welcome along. And for anybody who's still in the chat now, perhaps wasn't to start with, particularly obviously yourself, Brickflix. I don't know how many of the other guys have been here for a while, but we're holding an open forum. An open forum? Yeah, we're holding like an open forum throughout this. So everybody in the chat gets the opportunity to put forward a suggestion for a topic of discussion for tonight's show. So put it in the chat, and we're going to pick it between the three of us. So far, I think we've got like 2, maybe 3, and we're going to pick it out, and we're just going to talk about it and hopefully having a laugh and a joke. So the more random, the better. But if you want it to be a serious one, hopefully it'll get picked, and we'll earmark the rest for future episodes. So, so Brickflix, if you're keen, mate, and you want us to just talk about something random, then or something you're interested in, perhaps, then
he's also a stop motion, they're also a stop motion animator too.
Oh, so you know this person, yeah.
I just as the first time I've seen him in the chat, so I'm kind of being a bit of a nosy little bastard, and I just had a wee look at, and it's like, oh yeah, he does stop motions too. So
okay, right. So well, good to have you along, Brickflix, and that brings us nicely on to what we've got next, which is
suggested another wee topic.
All right, get that in the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to play. Actually, no, I don't enough talking. Slurpy is your section, mate. You, once you've written that down, tell us, introduce what we're playing.
So this week's serial film is going to be Dodge, and I did this one years ago, back in 2019, and it was one of the first ones where I wanted to combine Lego with like a real like other objects, and in this scenario with like an actual toy car. This isn't the one from the film. I think it's an actual miniature Hot Wheels Dodge, and it started off as a test. I only did like a little bit of footage, and I remember showing it to my friends on a night out, and they're like, "Oh, that's really cool. When are you going to finish it?" It's like I wasn't planning on finishing it, and then yeah, I made it, and it's been played in festivals and stuff. This one,
yeah, I watched this one last week.
It's I've always like I don't like to be like gloating about myself, but I've always been very proud of this one. There's like a mistakes here and there in it for sure, but yeah, no, it's definitely one of the ones I'm like, yeah, I like to show people.
Okay, so hopefully this is going to play now and I don't have any issues. So let me full screen it. Make more sense, won't it? Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Right. Because I'm obviously looking at it through a window. I'm looking at it through a window of a window of a window at the moment. So it's kind of, but as long as you guys can see clearly, then we'll press play. So look, I haven't missed anything there, have I?
Just back to start, but make sure you unmute it as well. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the sound's working. Oh. And that's it. Thank you so much for playing it.
Oh,
I've already
mate,
watched
that
it,
was.
I forgot about that bit at the end.
Yeah. And how many bullets did that gun have?
Look, I remember when I made that, it was a test, and it just kept adding stuff on and on and on, and I was like, I need to end this. And I was like, right, how do I end it? Right, I've got that wee boy that exploded earlier. He never returned, so I'll have him land down. And yeah, why does a Lego man have a somewhat functioning rifle? Yeah.
Mate,
oh, sorry.
No, go on.
If I had more time, I would have spent a bit cleaning it up. Like, there's stuff there, bits of dust and plasticine that you can still see. But at the time it was done, just as to kind of get back into.
Only you can see it, mate. Only you could see it, because you know this is the same thing that happened last time, and I was watching this on replay actually, and thinking to myself, watching the last episode of replay, and how you just go into, but I could, and it's great to see it, because that's what any true artist does, is they're critical of their own work, but you're your own biggest critic. But mate, it was really, really good. I wish I had half the amount of skill to be able to do something like that, because within like the first 3 seconds I was like, nah, it's already too much work for me.
I mean, that I should say now, the whole thing was stop motion, even the intro with me in my hand. Like,
really,
that was actually, yeah, that was all just taking a photo each time of me going into the drawer.
Ask how long it would take.
And that took a while to do, the drawer bit, as well as me playing with the toy car before my phone rang. But the way some of it was done was I used a software where it would, like, actually, I don't know if I did it for this one. I think I did, where you can kind of set up, take a photo, wait 5 seconds, it kind of just goes on and on, takes the photos. So I would hear the click and then move quickly, hear the click, keep going, and I'd just be like, right, I'd imagine this kind of sounds or looks somewhat decent. And yeah, that was the bit that was, like, as I needed to kind of bring in the real life element to it. But I've good memories too of that film, like playing it at like 2 local showings and stuff like that. And yeah, no, it's the film I like, because I was always known as the wee Lego guy, but he threw in a toy car into the mix. And the one thing that's so funny to me about it though is, and it's the one thing some people bring up, is like, why is there a Dr. Pepper on a bedpost? And I say, fuck, you just have to wing it sometimes, you know, just.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for showing it. It's the one I'm really, like, I'm proud of, like, you know, despite all the wee maybe flaws I see, but it's just like it just reminds me of the old YouTube Lego stop motion, just short, silly, goofy stuff. You know, and yeah.
Well, the thing is, mate, we're going to be playing one of your movies every episode, if I have my way. So you either need to start making some new ones, or be happy that we're going to eventually start showing the ones you're less proud of. And if you're that critical of the ones you think are the best, then I hate to see what you sound like for those. But no, I really enjoyed it.
I think I did message you in the DM. Like, there was one I started years ago and kind of stopped, but I have, like, God, there must be 2 minutes of footage that wasn't fully edited of a much bigger project. And if I were to get at it again sometime, the whole thing would need to be reshot. And I could maybe make that into a compilation to play, just to show, like, yeah, that one involved, like, Lego as well as, like, you know, action figures and all as well. Like, it was a whole plethora of characters, and it's still one that's kind of, that's the one film I want to get done at some stage. It'll take a while to do, but you know, there's a teddy bear and all involved in it as well. But
well, while we're on the subject of in the works, are you happy for us to share the other thing we discussed, or do you want to keep that? I don't want to put unnecessary pressure on people, see, so because even Martin doesn't know about this, but so we're hoping, or I say we're hoping, I'm not doing a single bit of work, but Slurpy and Matthew is going to be hopefully working on a stop motion exclusively. I mean, I say exclusively, he can do what he likes with it, but doing a stop motion that is exclusive, like the Rex, at least for now, like the Rex in the Venator, at least for this show. But obviously, if he decides to use it elsewhere, then the fans can do what they like, kick off with you. But no, for this show, I want to do a countdown. And when you got StreamYard, unless you start paying for the premium version, you can upload your own. You can upload your own videos, but you can't go in. They can't. The ones they give you a choice of, basically on the free version of StreamYard, which is why that duck is in the corner. Looks like he's kind of on the wall of Martin's room, but they only give you so much in the countdowns. And of course, most of the people here have come from ACOB, I guess, potentially, or no ACOB. And I don't know. It reminds me of that too much. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but long story short, we're going to try and, or Slurpy's going to try and create for us a stop motion countdown. So though it'll probably be, I'm not going to ask him to do from 30, but if we do it from say 10 or 5.
10 seconds. Like I kind of explained to you the wee idea I want to do, where each second is a different scene.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it's not a problem at all, actually, to be honest. It's just there's a lot going on for 1 second.
Yeah.
But I just want it to be just something kind of just a bit goofy, like, as well, and just, you know, play into different themes and IPs and stuff as well.
Yeah, have fun with it, mate. It's like you said,
it'll take a few Saturdays maybe to kind of get it done, like, but
yeah, look, there's no rush for it, mate. Even if it takes you like a year or whatever it is, I don't
no, it won't be that long.
it's a long-term plan that I just thought, you know, that'd be good, because it does give you the opportunity to upload your own countdown. So anybody who's thinking of doing something there, so does it already, perhaps doesn't know, you do upload the video. The only thing I didn't check, because I thought it gave you the information as to how big the file could be, but when I checked it again today, there wasn't. So I'll have to double check again. But so I could effectively just film myself counting down, and then that can be our countdown. But obviously, you know, guys see enough of me as it is. So yeah, so that's good things to come. We've got things in the pipeline. And you know, thank you to Matthew for giving up his time to at least plan it at the moment, but obviously eventually to do it. So can I just ask, Dodge, in terms of physical work, not the planning, but from start to finish, how many hours of work would you ballpark it?
That's a strange, because that wasn't when I did Dodge. I don't think I can ballpark hours on that, because it wasn't like shift work. I was at university at the time and had a bit more free time because it was coming up to the end of the year, but it wasn't like I'm going to stay in my room and film for 6 hours a day. Some of those shots were done in 30 minutes to an hour. Like, some of it was really, really quick, but some of it would have taken hours to do. So there might have been some days where I spent 4 hours doing maybe a bunch of car shots, and then the next day I spent 20-30 minutes doing, you know, like the Coca-Cola, the spilt water effect, because I only had so much time before the water went all over the place. But that, I think that whole thing was done in about, had to be 4 or 5 weeks. I remember, maybe even less, because I started it around Easter weekend of 2019, and I don't know what the upload date was on it, but it was very, very quick. That's all I know. But
in terms of hours of work, if you had to, you know, if your life depended on it, and somebody said, right, how many hours do you think you put into this?
Just to stop
10? Are we talking 20, 30?
I'd say just to stop motion alone, at least 50 hours, at least. And I think that's me being generous about it, because there's some of that stuff I'm looking at, like, I remember reshooting that twice and it taking a few hours to do. But that's what I mean, like, it's I should probably start logging it. Like, you know, Dawana Wanga only took a few days to do at Christmas time. And but some of them shots were a lot longer to do. Some of that took like hours, then the next morning for hours. But I wanted to get that out really, really quickly. But I used to be part of a Lego community called Bricks in Motion. The reason I say used to is I don't really partake in the kind of Brickworld community. And they used to do a lot of challenges, like 24-hour animation contest, which used to be called FAC, THAC. But they would give you the topic, the pieces, and you'd only have 24 hours to write, shoot, and edit it. And some people would make stuff that were 20 seconds long. Some people would make stuff that's 3 or 4 minutes. The quality's all over the place. I never was able to do it because I took too long. I'd be like, fuck, and I didn't have that ability to stay up 24 hours. But I feel like maybe some year I would like to give it a go.
That's
And then
another challenge.
they used to have one called Brawl, BRAWL, brick film, rapidly all week long, I think. And I've tried numerous times before, but I think at the time it would have happened at summer holidays when I was a kid. And it's like, oh, on a Wednesday, it's like, let's go away to the port. And I'm like, all right, that's me out of the contest. But it's stuff like that where, like, I wouldn't have the. It's funny enough, as somebody who does like stop motion and stuff like that the odd time, like, patience is a big thing, and I'm surprised that I have the patience for it, because it really is like, you know, it could take a long time to do, and the results might not be what you want. But I think the great thing about it is that there's no rush about it as well, especially as a hobbyist. There's no deadlines or anything like that, and people set them up for expectations as well. Like, you know, if you look at industries, maybe some more smaller ones might aim to do 10 seconds a day per animator. Some other ones may only do 1 or 2 seconds a day, like Ardman. But I'm not striving to be Ardman, but I want to be my own man, like, about it. But no, some of the stuff I do, high turnover, but I don't want it to be like, don't want it to come off as crap, like, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, so I'd say, you know, as well as patience, maybe an eye for detail or attention to detail is probably a defining factor you need to have.
I should say as well with Lego, and this goes for the Wanga was an issue as well at times, where it's all right doing one shot of a Lego man waving and stuff, but to keep that animation style, like, right, is he wacky and all over the place? Is he like a lot more slow and subdued? To kind of keep that consistent, that's still, you know, you don't want it to go into One Punch Man. One Punch Man's maybe more deliberate with its like liberties and doing different animation styles, but you kind of want to keep it consistent among all the shots. The Wanga was a little bit difficult because it was one of my first times doing an action figure, at least with that many shots, and that's the stuff that I just take out care for more. But I do want to get this compilation maybe sorted, and then I could maybe send it to. There's no real story to it though. It's just kind of a compilation of shots. I think I've sent some of it before to you as well. The action figure kicking the wee classic spaceman. It might have been a month or two ago, but that was filmed years ago.
I think I remember you putting something in this chat, but for when the stream ends, it disappears. At least I think it does.
Well, look, I can send it after, but I just need to hook through the old hard drive, and there's lots of shots that haven't been exported, because the way I do it is the software I use, it exports all the images as just that images. So I would have to import the images into Premiere Pro, and then export each kind of shot of selected images as like my preferred output file. I really should start exporting it as a video, but I like to be able to tweak the image. You can open up Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro at once and maybe fix some of the issues with it and all. And
well, you've totally lost me now, mate. And I can see mine. I can see mine's glazing over as well. So nothing.
Well,
not that what you're saying isn't interesting. Not that what you're saying is not interesting, but because I'm not technically gifted at all, and I don't really know about apps and stuff. Yeah, they're already sort of talking an alien language to me. But yeah, obviously there's a lot more that goes into it than that. Because like when you started saying then about like the liquid, and you only had so long before, and I just think I wouldn't even consider that. You know, so there's a lot going on behind the eyes, if you like, that make that kind of thing work. And like I said, I watched the film and liked it for what it is. I've seen stop motions before, even at sort of festival level, and watching that, you describing it gave me a lot more respect for it than I got, and I got a lot of respect for watching it.
Oh, thanks.
Just because it makes me realize what goes into it and the things you got to consider that I wouldn't even dream of, like, trying to make shapes out of cotton wool as well,
Yeah, even like that, like it sounds simple. Like I'll just throw bits of cotton wool down. I tried that, and it can look like a mess. And even the bits of paper that were the muzzle flash,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'll just cut them out and paint them orange. And then I remember doing it. I'm like, it just looks like a kid did it, And then I'm not saying it doesn't look any more like maybe an older child maybe did these ones, but no, it's like stuff like that. Trying to keep consistency with it as well. But it's just time is just a big thing now. Back then I had a lot more time. Now not so much, but it's something.
Yeah, it only gets harder, mate.
That's what I've been wanting to say. Like, obviously, time probably people ask you a lot because it's like when I show, like, say, a big Lego set, that's the question I get most of all. Is like, oh, how long did it take you? What? And I'm like, I don't know, because I didn't do it all in one go. So, yeah,
it's like shifts. You just like, I'll do a wee bit here and a wee bit there.
Yeah, obviously smaller sets I do split, but say like Rivendell, I spread that out. I took about a week because I do a couple of bags a night. So I've spent 400 quid here. I don't want to do it in a couple of days.
I think for the UCSX, like I like to kind of sometimes get the sets done, but the UCS X-Wing and Luke's Land Speeder, I did them over just 2 days because like they're smaller UCS sets, but now I tried to break them up. Like I'll do a bit this early in the day and a little bit later, and that's the kind of way I would have approached stop motions too, because I don't have that time to. Right, I'll go up at 9, clock in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then do it to 5. Like I might have obligations to do it even on the weekend as well, family and stuff. So I know that I can't be like when I was in my university years, I could be a hermit and hide up in the attic, or but and the same for a lot of this with the Lego hobby and all too. You can't just stay out of my room and building Lego for 6 hours. Like it doesn't work anymore.
Obviously, when we get to picks, what I built, I literally did that.
Okay, so look, great to see that, and obviously, hopefully, it breaks up. I like the idea of us doing sort of regular segments that kind of show off a little bit of something different. I haven't seen any other chat shows doing stop motion or Boxabois, so we're a world first. I just need to find a talent that I can show off now, apart from just talking. But yeah, at Crimson, what if I joined Worth a Shot? I don't know. I'm assuming, I can't think of anything else we've talked about that you would join. So I'm assuming you're talking about joining us on the panel. And look, we'd love to have you, mate. The only problem is this. First of all, we're drawing out. We're sort of in the last 2/5 or the last quarter of the show. So I don't feel like there'd be really much point because we haven't got a lot left to talk about. But in terms of you coming on for an upcoming show as a guest, not a problem at all, mate. I'd love to have you. In fact, that's the main reason why I'm talking about it being kind of pointless you coming on now, because I'd want you on for a full show. If I'd known a bit sooner, we could have done half and half with Padawan, but I didn't know how early he was going to leave. But definitely appreciate if that is what you're talking about, of course. Definitely appreciate the offer, and I would love to get you on for a full show as a guest in the future. And I need to try and do a little bit more research into you and work out what your niche is. And then obviously, from what I can gather and some of the films I have seen of yours, you're a kind of build on screen guy, which is great. We don't really do that here. That's not to say you can't if you join, but I'd like to just kind of, gear the show, or at least some of the topics around the people who are here. So yeah, Crimson Toaster, more than happy for you to jump on as a guest down the line. But yeah, we're kind of drawing it out now, mate. We're in the kind of the final throws, if you like. Speaking of which, so we did briefly talk about this before, and we did say we'll talk about it offline. So I'm not going to say too much about this, but anybody who's interested, Brickfest, which is a UK version of Brickworld, if you like, they operate shows up and down the country, but they go all year as well. So they're kind of in the sort of second half of the year. They got quite a few shows lined up across the UK, but one in particular is Cardiff, which turns out that a few of us are going to try and go along too. If we could get a kind of bit of a meetup, people are interested, then hit me up on Instagram, and it'd be nice. I know obviously people watching from the USA, it's a bit of a trek to come, and in comparison to Brickworld, it's a bit of a stink world. In comparison, because it's nowhere near as grandiose. It's only one day, not even a full day really. But the plan, if I had my way, I'll say this: if I had my way, the plan would be this: we'd meet up, get in there, have a little look around. And last year it was the same day as Comic-Con, and Brickfest tickets allowed you into Comic-Con as well. Cardiff Comic-Con wasn't a particularly big event either, but got to see both, have a little look around the Lego, have a laugh, leave there, after a couple of hours, go over to the Lego store in Cardiff, maybe go and grab a bite to eat, a couple of drinks, and then, I don't know, kind of make a bit of a day of it. But I think, if this sort of ends up being 3, 4, 5, 6 of us, whatever, I think we get bored of walking around that festival after a couple of hours. I went last year with my daughter, and she took part in a lot of the events there, and most of them were aimed at kids. But it was a kind of lot of sort of standing around, waiting around, looking at things. If I was there on my own, I could have probably done everything I wanted to do without taking part in anything in an hour. So it's certainly not like a full day. So I don't want to kind of paint a picture of this grandiose thing for anybody who's thinking of coming. But more importantly for us, I think the idea came from the idea of us all kind of meeting up, at least prior to Brickworld, and that wasn't even on the cards at that point. So it was just an idea of us to meet up in person, share some love of Lego, have a little look around this place. So anybody who was taking the time to sort of make their way, which so far seems to be Whittakee and Padawan potentially, I feel like we need to make it worth their while, because they're kind of making the trek down. So it's an open invite for anybody in the UK or who could come along, and obviously we'll try and get together and make a day of it. So does that sound like the kind of thing you would expect from that, Whittakee or Martin?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to the Western one, and just on the own, just walked around for an hour or so,
Yeah. Because we do need to kind of get it concreted whether we're going to do it or not.
I'm definitely going, because a friend who's recently got into Lego, he's found out and he wants me to take him.
So do you feel, are you likely to get there from the start or halfway through the day, or?
No, I'll get there at the start.
Okay. So if that's the case, I think probably the best thing to do for me is I don't see the point in me kind of volunteering. I don't know. I still kind of got to think about it, because I feel like I'm just going to be kind of, I don't know. We'll work it out. But the only reason I put this on here was to just kind of open the invite to anybody else. I think really when it comes to planning, we need to talk about that offline, because nobody wants to hear us talk about that, because the majority of people here won't be going. So, but yeah, so.
I'm assuming it'd be like the Western one, where you can go out anyway and then come back in.
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't leave there the whole time we were there, but yeah, probably. I would have thought so. But yeah, anyway, so now I just want to introduce this briefly, and this isn't really a topic that's got a kind of beginning, middle, and end, or any particular kind of result, if you like. But I do see a lot of camaraderie in the Lego community, and usually with all good communities, there comes a kind of underlying support system. And I'm not afraid to admit it, but I went through most of my life with no mental health issues, not knowing anybody who had any mental health issues, and to be honest with you, being kind of ignorant towards it, and openly ignorant as well, and being sort of like, it's all in your head kind of thing. But again, because I didn't know anybody who suffered from it, that wasn't directly at anybody. It was just, if somebody had asked my opinion on it, I would have thought, oh well, it's just an excuse for people, you know. And I kind of a bit ashamed of that. Or I am very ashamed of that, especially because I've now experienced it, but also know quite a few people who have suffered with it for years, and you know, suffer with it in silence as well. So I just think I watched a Instagram YouTuber guy called Galactic Bricker, and I don't know if you guys obviously follow him, but he did a kind of little PSA about mental health recently, and then I just saw so many kind of stories in his chat and other people I've spoken to who've kind of mentioned it, and it just feels like, you know, it's almost like an epidemic out there. But I don't think it's necessarily any worse than it ever was. But I just think people are more open to talk about it now than they ever were. And I think that's something that we kind of want to, I don't want to use the term jump on the bandwagon, but I do want to kind of make sure that embrace it and are aligned with that. And all this is to say that this is a safe space. Cool Hang Luke is a safe space for people to come along and share their thoughts. You can most certainly reach out to me if you're looking for somebody to listen. Look, I can't give you mental health advice, and I mean, we talked a little bit about signposting when I spoke to Slurpy about this. And signposting really is, like, you know, to help point people in the right direction. And I can't even honestly do that because the only company that I've really used is Mind and a company called Retail Trust, who are, you know, they're kind of a support group, if you like, for work with retailers like the one I work for. But essentially what I'm trying to say is this. You know, if you need somebody to reach out to, then you can reach out to us and we can, you know, give you some advice to some level, but certainly just listen. And yeah, if you want to share your stories and you're free or happy to do that, then go ahead and do it. I'll just give you my kind of history with, because it's not even a year old, my history of mental health. And I had a very, I guess, a traumatic experience. My mental health basically occurred in the form of PTSD. And most people align PTSD with kind of serving in the army or, you know, being I don't know, shot at or that kind of thing. But unfortunately mine wasn't, I wouldn't say it wasn't as severe as that, because obviously it's, you know, each their own. But I went through quite a medical issue last year when I was hospitalized twice within the same week. And it wasn't until after I'd kind of left hospital and kind of started to get into grips with what I'd gone through and what happened to me that my fiance Kirsty was kind of comfortable to tell me that the doctors had told her that I was, you know, if I hadn't gone into hospital when I did, I'd been dead by the weekend, kind of thing, because what I had was actually quite serious and more serious than I was aware of at the point. So I ended up started off with a bit of cold flu that developed into an infection. Sorry, that developed into pneumonia. The pneumonia developed into quite a serious infection, and that turned into sepsis. And when I was in hospital the second time, I went into septic shock. From what I can gather, obviously piecing things together and doing a bit of research on it, and you know, after telling people about that in person since that incident, you know, almost everybody I speak to knows somebody very close to me who died of sepsis. So for me, it's quite serious and it's kind of hit home a little bit. But I think the PTSD came from the fact that when I went to the hospital the first time, my own opinion of it, and obviously the only opinion that really matters in this, is that I was kind of mistreated, or it was kind of negligent and just kind of left to suffer. And it wasn't a nice experience. And it's hard to even talk about it even all this time. And I ended up taking some time off work, and obviously I was hospitalized. But for weeks after, certainly the first couple of weeks after I came out of hospital, I was in a state I couldn't sleep. I was kind of, I had to have a light on, and I was having kind of nightmares and night terrors, which is slightly different thing to a nightmare, and it was really bad. And after looking it up, it turns out I was suffering from PTSD from what I'd gone through in the run-up to being very ill and hospitalized. So that kind of added to it. Now, it reared its head quite a few times in the time when I was kind of on the mend, and I signed up to Local Mind and kind of got involved there a little bit. But this Lego community, and in particular ACOB, so shout out to ACOB, and obviously the guys here have kind of helped. The guys you're looking at here on the panel, as well as some of the guests we've had on, all kind of help with that. Not directly, because up until now, none of them were probably even aware of most of what I've said, but just because I had an avenue to kind of release myself, be relaxed, and get involved in something different. Nimble, gotta hit the hay. We'll catch the rest on replay. Really enjoyed the stream, boys. Take care. Thanks, mate. And he also said mental health is so important. I've really suffered in the past, so I'm all ears for anyone who needs someone to talk to. Great. Nice to hear that, Nimble. But yeah, look, I don't want my story to kind of become the topic of discussion as such. I just wanted to kind of, I didn't want it to feel as if I'm jumping on the bandwagon of mental health without having suffered from it myself. So I think I'd kind of gotten over it, and I was idiotic enough to think that it was something that you do get over, because I felt like I was back to normal and I was better than I ever was. And very recently I had a bit of an upset. This I won't go into detail about because it's still quite fresh and still quite new, but I essentially just fell apart over the course of like an hour or so, and everything came flooding back, and it was like I hadn't moved forward at all. And I just want to give a shout out to my fiancée Kirsty, who helped me through that, both because she's had her own experience with mental health, but also because she's just like my rock, I guess. And so she helped me through it, but it just made me realize, and again, doing some research into it afterwards made me realize that to think that it was something that's just going to go away and I've kind of gotten over and it's healed like a cut or a bruise, was kind of silly, because that isn't the case, and it's probably something that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And that's the case with most forms of mental health. So that's as much as I want to say about it. And unless you guys want to add something, I know the Slurpy, you did say that you got a little bit of experience in this area. So is there anything you wanted to sort of add, or?
Yeah, well, I don't want to be owning it myself either, but like what you said there, like it's something that I've dealt with it myself as well in the past number of years too. It kind of rears its head every so often, and like you said, when you feel like you get over it, and then it feels like the world comes crashing down again. The way I see them, and at least what I'm somewhat taught and experienced, it, they're just somewhat, I don't like to say road bumps, but they are along the kind of journey of kind of progressing with it, kind of becoming more and more self-aware. I don't want to kind of get into too much about what I have, but like I'm kind of studying to be a mental health practitioner, and so I'm still learning. Like I'm nowhere near a professional, but just learning about how everyone heals differently, some with support, some without. It could be very, very difficult. There's a lot, like it is so important to say like, oh, get out and talk, but sometimes some people just maybe aren't ready, and that's a sad thing too about it. And it's when just that's a great thing, just about really not just the Lego community, but kind of any community you're in. You can kind of feel like yourself a bit. The troubles can melt away. You're not using the hobby as a form of escape either, because it's, at least for I speak for myself, that being in the Lego community or film community or music or whatever, that is all part of me anyway. It's a natural part of my life that I can even take whatever pain I have into it and bring it in as well. Some of my deepest, darkest days have been when making a film, surprisingly enough, as a form of like kind of therapy as well. And I that's maybe a bit more individual, silent therapy for me, because no one else is involved, and everyone copes differently. But again, sorry to hear that you went through what you went through. very, very scary experience. And I say one that is the sepsis like that is. I don't know what to really say about it. Like it's just like the stuff of nightmares, really. Like
Yeah, literally.
but no, thanks so much for sharing it as well. Like
Papa Rex is in chat.
But it's great you said no. You're well, Papa. You know, you have a loving fiance and all. Like I've got loving family too. Like that's so important, and especially when they're not judgmental as well. Because growing up and stuff, like you do hear from people as well. Like it's all in your head. Stop thinking about it. Can you not just? It's a classic elephant in the room. Like try not to think about it. Oh, the elephant's getting bigger. It's taking up the whole damn house. You know, next thing you know, it's going to start evicting all the other tenants. Like, and you know, it's hard. It's just hard to kind of really grasp what it is too. And I don't think like there is like, I don't want to be making it negative, but people say, "Oh my God, there's a mental health epidemic." I just think people are more and more comfortable to share about it than ever before. At least I'm only 25. Becoming 26 soon. But in the years I've suffered, I've noticed a real progression in a great way. Sometimes I'm like, I wish it was there when I was younger, but I'm like, here, at least it's here at all. You know, I'm from Northern Ireland too, and there's a bit of a crisis, one would say, in regards to mental health here, the services and whatnot, and the more dark stuff as well. But there's avenues out there. There's people, if you're, you know, if sometimes family, it's hard to bring it up to family, and there's anonymous services that you can go to talk to. You can seek out help and reassurance, and signposted communities as well, depending on what you're going through. I'm not an expert yet, and
embarrassed as well.
Oh yeah.
There's a stigma, isn't there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. It's, you know, men are supposed to be these hard, you know, boys don't cry, they get on with it, and it's like everyone cries, you know, everyone hurts. But yeah, no, and there's still, I say that about the progression, there still is, like Martin, there still is like a stigma around it too.
Oh yeah.
Like for young and older men.
I found it easier to talk nowadays than what I used to. But I'm not going to obviously go too much because I'm actually going through it at the moment. Start checking out again and set online. But thank God for that, at the moment, and for the community and for something to look forward to. Chicago, there you go. It's not easy, and it's not something that and I appreciate what you say all about that quick fix or whatever. No, it doesn't go away, and it's turned out to be not a lot of tactical work. It's turned out to be like a lot of PTSD for me as well and stuff. So, moving on.
Yeah, well, look, it is hard to see other people go through something, especially when you've had an experience before. But at the same time, kind of feel helpless because not only is there nothing you can do from kind of this far away, but you know, even if I was in next door,
it's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like you feel like you want to do. Naturally, you feel like you want to try and do more, but. And obviously, I don't want to bring the tone of the chat down. I just think it's something that needs addressing. And of course, there's a comment here from Pockets Master. Thanks for sharing. A lot of people struggle with various aspects of mental health. Helps to talk and hear other experience. And I think that was really what it was about. Is that the only thing we can really do with this platform that we've been kind of blessed with is you know, tell everybody out there that we're on their side and that we've got experience in it, our own experience, but not experience in terms of dealing with it necessarily, but we've got experiences, varied experiences. And therefore we're not just, you know, talking about it because it's a hot topic kind of thing, or for the sake of talking about it. But and obviously, I think the title I used, "You Are All the Jedi." That was just because I wanted to relate it back to Star Wars. But that's the again, it was the original idea from Disney to sort of add that title in, and that did really hit home. Obviously, there's a lot to be said about the sequel trilogy, but that "You Are All the Jedi" just kind of. Sometimes when I'm feeling a bit like struggling or whatever, I just kind of think about that, and I think about everybody else out there, you guys included, followers and friends and family, and just kind of why we still do it, why we get up every day and keep going. And yeah, again, I just wanted people to know that this is a safe space, and if anybody wants to share their story, then go ahead. If they want to jump on a future episode and they want to come on and share their story, then we'd be happy to hear it and glad for it to be shared. And obviously, it's I don't like to say it's an open door, but it's a revolving door. I use that in work all the time because the terminology "my door is always open" kind of is a little bit cliche, especially because it's not necessarily my door anyway. But revolving door. So you come in when you please, you jump off when you please, you go in or out at the speed you want to go in and out at. So. And look, unless you guys get anything else to add, I think we'll close it there because I don't want it. Close that topic there because I don't want to kind of,
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'd rather. If I.
Yeah. No, look, just sorry,
Mark.
Mark.
At the moment, so yeah, if I need to talk, I'll talk off. It doesn't help as well when you're feeling low and stuff. That seems to always happen as well. Like for example, Yeah. I'm quite happy to move on now.
Yeah. Well, let's try to add. Let's go positive. So, why don't we go for this one next? So, has he been? I was going to say, has he been? But that's a post-Christmas thing. But what's under the tree? So, go around the room and also in the chat if you want to add something in. What's going to be under the Christmas tree for you guys this year? So what's going to be under the Christmas tree and what you'd like to be under the Christmas tree might be two different things, but let us know. So, man, starting off, mate, what's going to be under the Christmas tree for you?
I don't really know because I haven't. Because normally my kids will ask me to do a list. It would probably be I'll go through what sets I haven't bought, or because obviously we'll ask for Lego sets. Yeah, depends on what I want, and obviously the price as well, because I don't expect my kids to spend like loads of money on me. Yeah, and as well as obviously pants and socks and smellies.
I should have. Sorry, go on.
It just depends. I mean, sometimes if they're going to get it between them, then I might get a bigger set. Because obviously, but before that, I've got my birthday, so obviously I'm going to sort of be asking for Lego sets there anyway.
Spoiled, hey.
And basically, like, say to them, I mean, I need the oh god, what's it? The new one with Darth Maul. I can't think of the set.
Oh, the schemata. The schemata.
Is it? No. Is it the the ship?
Yeah.
Soul. What's it in it as well? The figure. I can't think of it. Is it the
So Guerrera, the Sith infiltrator.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably put that down my list. Another boarding of Tantive because I want that too. Probably maybe the skiff. Might put that down. And then cheekily I might put down the Nightmare for Christmas set if they decide to pay together. But yeah, I just give them a little list and choose, I suppose. So yeah.
So it sounds like there's not going to be much room under your Christmas tree, mate.
Yeah, then you get a couple.
How about yourself, Matthew? What's under the tree for you, mate? Or what are your hopes under the tree?
Oh, I mean, I kind of talked about the August first wave. Like, I want the skiff. I don't want to spend money on it though, so get someone else to. I want the Imperial Star Destroyer. I don't have one, which is quite shocking because I've been in it for so long. I just never have one. That's definitely it. Yeah, it just looks so. I know it's smaller, but I just like it. I think it looks so
When it
good.
was coming out, everyone was moaning about how small, but now that they've got it and they've seen it, and yes, it is still, but it's just like it's great. It's just so detailed and
yeah. I just think it just looks really, really good, and yeah, as I say, I don't have one. Yeah, that's it there. Like, I don't know what else. Like, I would love to be like a kid again and say, write down 10 sets. Like, I want this, I want that. But the Star Destroyer is the one I do want. So if any friends or family or loved ones are listening, they kind of know. Like,
this is the main reason I created this topic, is because I want to be able to tell my fiance Kirsty what I want for Christmas without telling her what I want for Christmas. So if she knows what's going on, and the same with everybody else. So families of the hosts tune in, and you know exactly what to get.
My kids will watch this.
But
that's really it for me. I don't know how about yourself.
do you know what? I didn't even think of an answer myself, to be honest with you. We're in a position where saving for the wedding. So, but even last year we did the same thing. Well, we were saving for a house then. So we just try to, we don't have family or friends who really buy for us so much. It's only really myself, my fiance, and obviously my daughter. So we try to go all out for her as opposed to for anybody else. So, so we just us. So last year what we did is we do each other like a stocking with lots of little bits and pieces in, and not necessarily low value stuff, but smaller items. And then we just do one big present each, which last year happened to be like a Lego set for each other. So, but as to which set, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be brave enough to ask for the badge. And you know how I feel about UCS sets anyway. So, and because I've got so much Lego that's unbuilt, I think it doesn't make sense. So what I'm probably going to ask for instead is some UKbois merch. Ready for Brickworld next year. A couple more UKbois t-shirts. UKbois, sorry. ACOB t-shirts.
ACOB, yeah.
I was just thinking of, because I was thinking of the Bois t-shirts. You know, they got the Bois ones. A couple of different ones. So I had that in my head. But basically, a couple of those t-shirts, some merch, maybe a hat or something. But I don't know, if the ACOB Crocs are out by Christmas, I'll be ordering a pair of them. They'll be under the tree.
I wonder if we can mix some Lego jizz bits. Like, I think get some heads or even microfighters.
Jizz bits. Shout out to Becky if you're watching. My sister-in-law. Jizz bits is it now a thing?
That's what I think they're called. Or they're not giblets is what they're called. Gibbets.
But he automatically says jizzbits now. That's it. I like it. I coined the phrase. Well, I stole the coined phrase, but no, you're right. I think it's a really good idea. I think I sent it to Brent, and as per typical Brent fashion, he hasn't even read my message yet. So, but
you put a message on my thing saying you love his Crocs. As get out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's one of these people who'll come out of nowhere, comment on like a load of, like he commented on him and ACOB commented on that thing of mine.
Next time, okay?
Yeah.
What are we going to do about these Americans who do the terrible British accents?
Yeah, PNG tried to do. What did PNG? Was it PNG? Who did a British accent? Yeah, it was PNG.
Brent is always. I was like, right, yeah, he's.
Yeah, Brent's good at impressions, but the British accent. I think he does Bricklick. He does Bricklicker quite well.
Bricklick. Yeah. The problem is that like we're so small, like in the north as well as like England, Wales, and Scotland. There's that many regional accents.
Yeah.
That like you could do, or let's do one from the Midlands, and it's like that's the English accent, and it's like you know, for all of us that live in this region, it's like, no, it's not. But to the Americans, it's like that's what everyone sounds like.
For
My
me,
laptop's just packed in, so I can't see the chat anymore.
for me, the American accent is probably closer to some versions of what they think is the English accent than the accents I hear every day. But yeah, you're right. There's like probably just in the south part of Wales, there's probably 5 or 6 different dialects, and I can probably distinguish by listening to them whereabouts they're from in the south of Wales. It's crazy.
Oh, we have a lot here.
Take the myth of like what's quid and garage.
Yeah.
Garage.
Yeah,
Garbage.
well, but you're right, and we want to stay on topic, so we'll earmark that for next topic: accents. But yeah, I'm not
going to have to make a move soon, so
yeah, we've not got much left to talk about, mate. But you go when you got to go, and
if you want to do weekly things before I go.
Yeah. My fiance is in the chat, so obviously she's been watching the whole time because she just piped in with the Home Alone house, so that's obviously what she wants to be under the Christmas tree. Pocket Master is now going to call it Jizz Bits. Well done, mate. Well done, mate. Nightmare Before Christmas set for me too, please. But yeah, okay. So topics. What have we got left? So at the moment, we've got to do pickups, and we've also got to do the viewers pick discussion. Mm-hmm. So because we've gone on a lot longer than I thought, and we didn't get that many, what we're going to do instead, and apologies guys because I bigged this up, but we're going to select the topic and we'll keep it, and it'll be a main topic discussion for next time. And that keeps people coming back as well, doesn't it?
We got pretty good topics too from Cooper, Ostef, and Nimble. So
what were the topics? Because I think all of them are gone now anyway. So
yeah, well, Ostef's still in the chat, but Ostef's was how did we get the idea for the show, which would be more aimed at you. Nimble wanted to rank all the 25th anniversary figures, and Cooper suggested what is each of our white wheels.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what we'll do then, just to kind of make it up to those guys for not doing what we said we were going to do. Like, I'm conscious of the time. I know Martin's got to peel away, and you know, we've gone a lot longer than I was expecting, as per usual. But we'll do all 3 topics. We'll cover all 3, and we'll discuss them. We'll hash them out. So that hopefully gets at least those 3 guys back for next episode, 2 weeks from now. So thanks, guys, for your topics. Appreciate that, and apologies for changing my mind last minute. We do these things off the cuff. So yeah. So the viewers pick. We'll do all 3 of them next week, and we'll chat about those, and they'll be in the list with everything else. And I'll try and tone it down a little bit with topics because I think I got a bit too carried away, maybe. So I say this: pickup, spend versus save, because for me, pickup is 0, and it might stay that way for a while. So I'm saving for Brickworld. Peace out. So how about you guys?
Well, yeah, I'm saving, but because I don't know if you saw it in the UKbois chat, somebody said about that as the deal. So I went online and got 33% off. Not everyone's favourite, but I like this. I really enjoyed the build.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, Captain Antilles there.
Yeah, now this is something because I do this with all of them. I remember saying this. I put a figure on because they have designed for you to put a figure. So
yeah, it's a good idea.
But what I was going to say, I'm in 2 minds because I've actually had to take him from the boarding of Tantive, set. But I've also got another figure I'm thinking about putting in where they're just loose. So I don't know whether to leave him or have Princess Leia. Because she's obviously
can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah, I think with if you didn't want to split up your set and you're like kind of a purist displays person, and you're putting both of them up, then yeah, definitely the Leia, because I'm sure you probably got to split.
I could obviously put him on that side, but I have to put. But obviously, I am planning to get another boarding of Tantive, so obviously then I will be able to use because I have a spare one. But I also wanted to say because I remember watching a lot of reviews, and of course inside, if you know, is the Easter egg of it's supposed to represent Princess Leia, R2D2, and C-3PO inside. And they mention about one of the pods is missing. Yeah. Now, there's been a few saying, "Oh, well, how can it be missing if they're inside?" Well, I have a theory on that. If you actually watch the film, when it goes off, the blokes say, "There goes another one." So that's the first one who went off.
They jettison them.
So they haven't gone off yet. Yeah, because he said. So that's why there's only one missing. So really, they're waiting to go in another one. So that's the theory for all the people that were going. Well, it can't be C-3POs and R2s because they're still inside. Well, no,
you 100% agree, but you've spent way too long thinking about that.
That's Star Wars, mate. I'm sorry, but that's me in Star Wars. Yeah.
Did you go back and watch the film to double check?
No, I knew, but I have recently been watching them anyway. I've been going right from the beginning all the way since I watched Acolyte, and then I've gone and watched in order all the way. Well, I'm up to halfway into Empire at the moment. So.
Well, they're back in cinemas, mate. At the moment, they're going through all the films in cinemas.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you go to Odeon, coming up on the 28th of September, they're doing Phantom Menace.
I've seen that a couple of months ago in the cinema.
Yeah, but they're doing them all now. So the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith one day on the Saturday, and on the Sunday they're doing Rogue One, Star Wars, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then a couple of weeks following that, then they're doing the sequel, and then they'll do one day of the sequel altogether. So they've been playing since the middle of August. They've been playing one movie every week. And then when that finishes, they're doing all of them back to back. They're doing the same with Batman. They did the same with Spider-Man. So we missed the Spider-Man one, but the Batman one's coming up as well.
Yeah,
so check out Odeon.
We wouldn't have. I think we have one in Belfast, but yeah, it says here it's being released on the 20th of September in New Hope. I hope it's being played here though.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see the original.
Yeah, I think it's an Odeon
when I
thing.
see the original, you know.
Yeah, it won't be the unedited version, but yeah.
I know it's on a Friday.
But
yeah. No, I think I'm going to stick with the Princess Leia because I've got Han Solo on the Empire, the Millennium Falcon. So yeah, that was it. I only got it because it was that offer in Asda. So.
No, it's a sweet little set, mate.
If its freezer was going to break, I wouldn't have bought it.
But no, mate, priorities, isn't it? So, but how about yourself, then? So, did you pick anything up this week?
Absolutely nothing except not Saturday past, but the one before. I went to Asda again because they're the only store that seems to do the Lego minifigures, and I really wanted to. I think the space one's out now. Now they're doing D&D, and I tried to scan, and it just didn't work. So I was like, right, I'll just pick.
I've never been able to get that to work when I've checked either.
And like, sometimes it'll just show the image of the series, and I'm like, that's not good. But there's stuff online about the codes. Unfortunately, they seem to be there's more detail about the American codes versus here. But I got a good few. There's like the Blacktron mutant. I got a few of him, the bug, which at first I didn't like, but I'm like, this could work well for a potential space mock. But no, I've just been kind of going light. There's not a whole lot. That's really I'm just saving really like I kind of know for Brickworld and stuff, potentially going like save up for it as well and other things here and there in life, like, but also space is a big thing as well. Like I don't have the most amount of space in the house. Bloody hell, I had to put the X-Wing above a fucking wardrobe. Like I don't have any shelves for it. Like,
see, I'm lucky. I've still got some space to buy some shelves. So, but no, it's just saving it. There's like I say, there's some nice sets from
the August wave and even May and all too. But the way I'm like, it's like, oh, I really need it. Give it a couple of months, and if I didn't pull trig on it or I don't think about it, then I'm like, I didn't really need it. But the Star Destroyer, I do think about quite frequently. So I do need it.
It's definitely worth it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say with those, I'm going to ultimately get all of the 25th anniversary figure sets. So, but I'm certainly not in any rush because I know they're not going anywhere. They'd be mass produced. So, unlike the last wave, the 20th anniversary, where quite a few of them kind of disappeared a lot sooner than the
Very
others.
quickly.
Yeah, like the Slave one, and I think the Sand Speeder, sorry, the Snow Speeder disappeared a lot. Yeah,
it retired. It wasn't even out a full year. It was only like 8 months or something like that.
Yeah, so I don't think we aren't going to worry about that this time around. So I am a bit gutted that I've got to buy at least one set that I'm not interested in whatsoever, just to be able to get an anniversary fig. So that's going to be under the Christmas tree for my daughter.
If I miss out on Leia, then I miss out. I'm not buying that set.
I am starting to debate: do I really need all the figures? I don't know. Ugh.
I'm at that stage where even with the 20th anniversary figures at the time, it's like I need them. It's like I don't need them. I don't have any of the.
You want them?
20. I wouldn't mind, like, but I don't like. I need to get them all, like. But I mean, I like the selection of anniversary figures this year. I know some of them have been criticized, but I like it. I like that it's all over the place, like all corners and holes of Star Wars, like, you know.
Yeah, well, I filmed myself kind of interviewing a member of staff in the Lego store. I haven't posted it yet because I've got a tendency, like my phone is literally packed full of amazing content that I've just never gotten around to sharing, because I'm either concentrating on promoting this show or promoting other people's stuff, and that's about it. I don't really get a lot of free time. So, but basically, I was filming the box of display in the Lego store recently, and like literally last week, and the guy just came up and asked me if I wanted some help, and I didn't realize at first that I was still filming, but then I actively kept it filming. I didn't film him because I didn't want to sort of, take it too far, but I continued, and he could see that I was still filming, so he knew that the discussion was going to at least be on film. So, and we chatted a little bit about a few things, but yeah, that was quite interesting. So, but in that topic of the discussion, we did talk a little bit about 25th anniversary figs and a few other things. But yeah, anyway, going off completely off the subject, really, I guess. I got to put this back up because my fiance is clearly watching, and yeah, that says it all. But we did agree, and this is. We did agree, and this is going to be in the next one, that Brickworld is going to be my stag, just for you guys to know. So, but we'll talk about that more in the next thing, because I don't want to get too carried away. But, or if you're watching from America, it's going to be my bachelor party, essentially. So, because I'm having that instead of having one of those. So, but I did think I said at one point to my fiance that I won't buy any Lego sets right away, or as much as I used, and I won't have a birthday present, I won't have a Christmas present, I won't have Valentine. If I can go to Chicago, not if I can go, but if you're happy with me to go to Chicago, but I can't remember how much detail we went into. But anyway, so that brings me nicely on to the last segment, which should be the quickest one. Shout outs who you got, and I'm going to start and be selfish and say my shout out is going to be to my fiance Kirsty. And I'm happy that she's in the chat and making jokes, because that means that she's no longer cheesed off with me, which she was when I started the stream, because I got a tendency to, like I said before, one of my talents is being able to do things on the fly, but it also sometimes means I can be a little bit too reliant on that and leave things to the last minute, including this stream. So I pulled it forward to 7:30 so the Padawan can stay on longer. I didn't really tell you guys about that, so apologies for that. But I kind of just made the executive decision to put it an hour earlier, and didn't really think about the fact that that didn't give me much time to do everything else that I needed to do beforehand, including get home, shower, have food. Yeah, look, in future we could do it. Yeah, I think
start early, we finish earlier. No.
yeah, I was, to be honest, to start with, I was thinking more about it at 8:30, giving a chance for some guys over in the USA to watch. But I'm not doing this for anybody in particular. It's for us more than anything else. It is selfish, but we're doing this for us and for anybody who's watching. But we did get quite a few guys from the USA in anyway, so I think it is what it is. People carve out time. Yeah, not only that, exactly. Yeah, we're not doing it like 3:00 in the morning, but yeah. So I decided to put a bit earlier, but instead of kind of planning around that and making sure I was organised, I just didn't. And I literally got in from work at like 6:30, and decided to try and cook food for myself and my fiance before she got home. It's a silly idea because now I've got to go and clean the kitchen. And yeah, anyway, but put it this way, I left her in a very awkward situation of being a bit frustrated with me and then jumped on the stream. So apologies, Kirsty. and a shout out to you, and thanks for being with me. And obviously going back to the mental health thing, my biggest supporter there. So thanks for that. So who you got, guys? Who do you want to shout out?
I'll just.
Sorry, say again.
Shout out to my cats. There you go. For keeping me company.
Cats, right?
Well, look, Padawan brought on his dog Echo, so I'm going to shout out my two dogs, Bosco, a chocolate Labrador, and Gizmo, little ugly pug. And they are not going to ever make an appearance because I don't want to burden your viewers with them, especially Gizmo. But yeah, no, just friends and family. Mugsy lad for showing up again, and my friend Aaron must have been on at one stage because he sent me a message on Facebook saying keep it up. So yeah, just I don't know if they'll watch it on replay, but it's cool to get the boys, just even if they're not into Lego like me, just to pop in and support. Like, so that's cool.
No, that's nice. Yeah.
No, that is good. Yeah. No, it's nice to see that. As soon as that Mugsy lad popped in, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I might have forgotten, but no, it's great. Look, we've all gone all the way down to 2 viewers, so everybody kind of either got cheesed off or didn't want to hear the outro music. But look, thanks if you're watching this on replay. Thanks. We haven't said like, share, comment, sub, all that kind of thing.
Forget that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I have got it scrolling across the bottom anyway, so it becomes wallpaper. It does become wallpaper after a while, but yeah. So look, thanks guys for riding with us. If you're watching in replay, then hope you enjoyed the stream. As always, we welcome feedback. Apart from the fact that Madden's mic is a little bit quiet, we already know about that. Perhaps he'll have a new mic under the Christmas tree as well. But apart from that, yeah, any other feedback?
Because everyone says you can just do it for your phone, so I don't know why mine echoes. I don't understand.
Yeah, pass. I'm kind of, I'm doing this. I'm spitballing most of this myself. Everything I've done since I started this stream idea, I've kind of learned on the fly. So I think it's to do with our audio is coming out of your phone and going back in to your phone. So that's causing a repeat. But you're right. I've seen some streamers who have got a microphone and no headphones in, and I think, how are they doing that? Because the audio would then be repeating through. I don't know. Unless they've got some kind of app, unless you need to have some kind of proper app on your phone to, I don't know. And we won't go into that.
Yeah, that's we'll not get into.
You can hear me all right. I think it was the people.
Well, we can, but I think it might be to do with your movement. So when I've been watching you, you've been talking, and then as you're moving, it kind of does go in and out. Whereas I feel like when you sit still and you talk, it comes out quite clear. Although it's still quiet, it's clear. Whereas if you're moving, I think there may be some damage to the mic, perhaps inside.
I find it very difficult to sit still for 3 hours.
Yeah, and like, mate, the last thing I want to be doing is lecturing you on like get your headphones on, sit still, especially because you're all of our senior. It doesn't seem right for me to say, right, do this, do that, do the other. But at the same time, we got to make it enjoyable for people to watch and listen.
Yeah,
so
it just annoys me. It just annoys me because it's like I can't do anything about it. And
Well, we've come we've come through some issues already, mate. And like I said, not the only one who has technical issues. So it is what it is. And like I said, even the best people get that kind of thing. So don't worry too much about it. We've made it through. People can hear what you're saying, and that's the main thing. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. And I'm gonna try and finish this on 2:45, just because it's a nice round number. And we're gonna do some music to finish it off. So thanks, guys. Thanks for riding with me, and see you all soon.
For you as well. Take care.
All the best. Thank you.
Thanks tonight. See you in a couple of weeks.
Hopefully.
Welcome all to a cool hangout where we can chat and talk. Cool fun look. Would like to welcome all to a cool hangout where we can chat and talk. Cool fun look. Would like to welcome all to a cool hangout where we can chat and talk. Cool fun look. Would like to welcome
Bye, everybody.
where we can chat and talk.
What the hell is that?
Got it from me from Indonesia, my son.
Ah, it looks like one of those things you put pins in.
It's like a
Yeah.
good old Darth Vader.
And on that note, guys, see you next time.
Yeah,
All the best.